I tell you what, though, because of that, yeah, it was a little bit of an easier schedule in Leagues Cup, but they were one of just 4 teams out of 18 to make it into the quarterfinals of that tournament. So I think once you come out of that big break with the World Cup, and there were some league matches in there, but it still feels like you're sort of just getting going again. And I think it's pretty easy for them as players and as coaches, as a staff, to build a narrative that, hey, this is kind of a new day and things are kind of going in a good direction here. So I think when you win a couple of games, and they won 3, including the penalty shootout, I think you start to feel good, you start to feel confident, that becomes effective, through the room. You remember walking into the locker room and, and the beer splash or whatever they do, or having Matthew McConaughey, I don't know, come in there and high five everybody. So you start feeling good about things. So Austin might be a team that's got a little bit of confidence right now.
Yeah, this is one that I'm sure we'll discuss in our third segment. You don't want to take them lightly, especially when it's a rivalry game, especially on Sunday Night Soccer, as Dallas gets the stage of the world tonight ahead of the night game, which is Seattle and Vancouver. But that is Steve Davis. You'll hear him on the call tonight. You'll hear him in our third segment as well. Steve, always appreciate it.
Talk to you in a bit.
When we return here on the FC Dallas pregame show, we'll have today in FC Dallas history. You're listening to FC Dallas Soccer, presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
You push your body hard in the name of fitness. Sure, it's for a good cause. But a good cause shouldn't mean sacrificing a good time. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey campers, it's Jan from Toyota. This summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota, and the fun starts now! We're kicking things off by kicking up mud. Jump in, campers. We're going off-roading in a 4Runner. Next, we're heading to the hot springs in a RAV4. And finally, park your Tundras and Tacomas around the campfire because we're roasting marshmallows. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
Want to hear something incredible?
The treatments are over, the infusions are done. Now you can get back to all the kid fun. We'll miss you lots, but you'll be happy to know chemo is over, so it's time to go.
At Children's Health, we're making groundbreaking advancements in cancer treatments every day to bring more healing and more hope to families. Innovative treatments filled with hope. That's incredible together. Learn more at childrens.com.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Winner, winner, Chick-fil-A dinner. All season long when FC Dallas wins at home, fans win free Chick-fil-A. Be sure your Chick-fil-A app is up to date. Location services are turned on when you attend matches at Toyota Stadium. After the team wins, before you leave your seats, open the app to redeem the Chick-fil-A offer. Welcome back to the FC Dallas pregame show presented by Toyota here on the FC Dallas Radio Network. In our next segment, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis will join me to break down the lineups and tactics for tonight's Copa Tejas Showdown. But first, let me tell you about the FC Dallas Radio Network podcast feed, available everywhere you get free podcasts. It's anchored by the FC Dallas postgame show, highlight stats analysis of everything that happened in the match that was, and a nice 30 minutes or thereabouts package. The postgame show goes live after the final whistle on the radio network, but then can be found on the podcast feed shortly after, so it's available for your commute or whenever you need great FC Dallas game analysis. And we're in Season 2 of the FC Dallas Agenda, the official FC Dallas podcast. Ryan, Garrett, and Steve give you long-form thoughts, compelling interviews, interesting insights, everything you need to know about your favorite MLS squad. Those normally come out on Wednesdays, but can shift depending on double match weeks or if there's big news happening that we need to analyze and break down for you, the FC Dallas supporter. And this season we've introduced The Build-Up, which is our FC Dallas preview show. We go over injury reports, lineups, team forms, opposing matchups, everything you need to know about the game that's upcoming in about a nice 20-minute package. That show goes live just about 24 hours before kickoff of the upcoming match. So how do you get all this great content? Well, you go to your podcast provider of choice, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Type in FC Dallas Radio Network and then hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our great free content. Now let's get to today in FC Dallas history. funnily enough, on this day 1 year ago, FC Dallas played Austin FC here at Q2 Stadium, notching a 1-1 draw thanks to Shaq Moore scoring in the first half before Owen Wolff equalized early in the second. However, our focus for today's history lesson is the first time the Burn ever played away against Austin on August 29th, 2021. That was a glorious day for Luchi Gonzalez's men, who barnstormed Q2 with a 5-3 victory in their state capital debut. Jesus Ferreira scored the first of his 2 goals in the 5th minute before Julio Cascante pegged Dallas back 8 minutes later to make it 1-1. Ricardo Pepi got in on the action with his first goal in the 36th. Ferreira scored again 2 minutes later in the 38th, and Pepi secured his brace 2 minutes after that in the 40th minute. A hot air Obrion cherry on top early in the second half gave Dallas all the cushion they'd need, despite 2 second-half scores from Diego Fagundes and Alex Ring of Austin. Today's Remember Some Guy candidate is a name for the hardcore FC Dallas supporter. That victory in 2021 featured many big names like Ferreira, Pepi, Matt Hedges, Ryan Hollingshead, and others. But the goalkeeper that day is our focus, because it was none other than Brazilian international Felipe Mejolaro. Felipe made 11 starts for Dallas, including 10 in the 2021 campaign, while on loan from Brazilian giant Grêmio. After Felipe finished his stint with Dallas, he briefly returned to his native Brazil before joining Japanese top-flight side Vissel Kobe, where he was the Cow's cup goalkeeper, getting just 2 starts. His tenure in Kobe was just a single season. He joined Yokohama FC in January 2024. Things wouldn't go much better there for Felipe. He made 6 starts, conceding 11 goals. His contract expired at the end of the most recent J-League season, making the 27-year-old a current free agent. When we return on the FC Dallas pregame show, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis join me to help break down tonight's lineup and tactics. This is FC Dallas Soccer, presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
It's a moment when I show up, God, I'm saying wow.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, the casino of FC Dallas, where 10,000 electronic games, plus roulette, craps, and blackjack is just the beginning. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa, rest in one of our vast hotel towers, and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the world of WinStar.
God, I'm saying wow.
This is Logan Farrington, striker for FC Dallas. Behind every goal, there's a team you don't always see. The ones keeping everything running, secure, connected, ready. That's General Informatics. From cybersecurity to smarter IT solutions, General Informatics powers FC Dallas with advanced technology support so we can stay focused on the game. General Informatics. Complex IT made simple.
Welcome back to the FC Dallas pregame show. We've got just over 20 minutes from kickoff here at Q2 Stadium. So let's go ahead and bring you tonight's starting lineups. And those starting lineups this evening are brought to you by Advocare. We'll start first with the home side, Austin FC, and interim manager, Davey Arnaud. It's going to be longtime Austin FC man Brad Stuver in net tonight for the Verde and Black. Mateja Djordjevic, Alexander Svatok, and Guillermo Biro on the back line tonight for the Verde and Black. John Gallagher, Basard Sabovic, Ilya Sanchez, and Joseph Rosales in the midfield, supporting Mirto Ozuni, Christian Ramirez, and Irvin Torres tonight for Austin FC. Now let's go ahead and get to the starting lineup for FC Dallas and second-year manager Eric Quill.
Jonathan Sirois, goalkeeper, Montreal, Canada.
Lalas Abubakar, central defender, University of Dayton.
Osaze Origide, centre-back, Netherlands, Nijmegen.
Sebastian Ibiaga, centre-back, Duke University.
Herman Johansson, wing-back, Sweden.
Ramiro Benetti, midfielder, Brazil.
Christian Capes, midfielder, Houston, Texas.
Bernard Camungo, I'm a winger, and I'm from Abilene, Texas.
Joaquín Valiente, mediocampista, Uruguay.
Santiago Moreno, mediocampista, Colombia.
Peter Musa,
forward from Zagreb, Croatia.
And the subs tonight for Dallas: Ron Benjamin, Shaq Moore, Alvaro Augusto, Logan Farrington, Josh Torquato, Sam Sarver, Michael Collodi, Clay Holstad, and Kaik. Now let's bring in the voices of tonight's contest. It's Ryan Figert, it's Steve Davis. And Ryan, welcome to Q2 for the first time. This is your first time up here in the booth. And, you know, it's coming at an interesting time for both squads because FC Dallas is coming off a successful, if not non-advancement side in the Leagues Cup. Meanwhile, Austin just went out ahead and reeled off 3 wins. They will play, although their reward is getting to play Toluca. So congrats, I guess, on that. But these are teams that are coming in, despite being opposite in the league table, in recent form, they're both coming in pretty strong.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how much of that carries over into this one for both teams. Obviously, Dallas can turn their full attention to Major League Soccer for the rest of the year. That's their sole focus, is climbing the table in the Western Conference. Austin, now they've got that game circled. They're down in 14th, maybe an outside chance they could push towards the playoff positions, but really it's going to be all about that game for them, similar to last season when they were making that run in the Open Cup. So, obviously good work from Austin to get back into some good form and put those results together in Leagues Cup. We'll see how much of that carries over into tonight.
Well, if Dallas intends to get things done tonight, Steve, it's probably going to come through one guy specifically, and that's Petar Musa. He's sitting on 13 MLS goals, 14 in total if you count his goal against Toluca in one of the more strange fashions we'll probably ever see. But he's got an interesting challenge tonight because it's a 3-man back line for Austin, and I would not say it's a particularly audacious one just yet, but he has an opportunity tonight to really kind of put Dallas on his back when they need him on short rest and hopefully carry them to victory.
Yeah, Sam, you feel like the difference makers are just that in any team always. They've got to be the game changers, the ones that actually make a difference, right? But in this game, I think it's even more so. A guy like Osazi Urguide on one side, Petar Musa on the other side. Because of these rotated lineups, I think there is a chance for these guys to stand out even more than they usually would. That said, Austin's defending pretty well these days. They're defending in more numbers. They're more about, whereas under Nicolas Tevez previously, they're more about possession and technical work with the ball. Now they're more about defense and transition. So the challenge is still there, but I think the opportunity is there as well.
Yeah, just looking at Musa against Texas rivals, 7 goals, 5 assists, a goal contribution every 59 minutes against Houston and Austin, specifically a goal or an assist in all 5 appearances against the Verde and Black in his career so far.
And the real curious thing about that, Ryan, that number is very encouraging because we know Musa has played a lot of minutes lately, and I'm curious, we'll have to see how many he's got in him. I think probably the same for Santi Moreno. We've seen him kind of be a 60, 65, at most 70-minute man. But the good thing for Dallas is even if Musa can't go the full 90 for whatever reason, there's Logan Farrington right there who's having himself a career season as well.
Yeah, we knew this stretch of the season was going to be about the squad, not just the starting 11, and that's the case tonight. Obviously, you got a pretty strong starting 11, but a lot of those guys, as you mentioned, played a lot of minutes over the Leagues Cup week or 8 days, whatever it was, including Valiente, Johansson, Kamungo, who all started in each of those games. So even more so than looking along the front line, I'm looking on the outsides and wondering how much they have in the tank tonight. Hopefully, that the atmosphere, the occasion, the rivalry game just gets the adrenaline going a little bit more and they can push through that pain barrier.
And Steve, I think I love when Ryan leads me right where I want to go because the wingbacks, while they have been quality during this run, I don't think we can say that they've done that much wrong at all. Legs and tiredness just happen to, even young or old. And, you kind of look at the roster tonight for Dallas and, okay, if you wanted to pull Herman at halftime, for example, Shaq Moore's right there. He can give you 45 at wingback because there's really nothing Shaq Moore can't do anymore. But you look at Bernie and your option at this point is Josh Torquato, and that's not anything against Josh. He had himself a heck of a CONCACAF U20 run with the U.S. national team, but he just doesn't have a lot of MLS experience, and this is a tough environment to come in regardless of where Austin is on the table.
Yeah, it is, but he's going to be going up against, if he comes in, he's going to be going up against guys who probably also don't have a lot of MLS experience unless, Davey Arnaud, the interim manager now, before Jim Curtin comes in, unless he decides to deploy a veteran over there as a substitute or something like that. So it might not be the worst time to bring a Josh Torquato in. And look, at this point, when we're talking about Johansson and Bernie Kamungo especially, at those positions, when you start talking about options, you're not looking for the perfect option. As I say sometimes, you're looking for the least imperfect option.
Yeah.
And, when you get to Josh Torquato coming in at the 65th or 70th minute, coming off a really strong performance internationally, I don't mind it.
And we talk about the environment, and we know obviously there's a good fan culture, and it's a great stadium, but Dallas is coming from Estadio Nemesio Diaz. They're never going to play in an environment like that anywhere in Major League Soccer. And Josh Torquato himself coming from playing at Estadio Azteca against Mexico in the U20 final. So I think the whole team can bring the confidence from those experiences into tonight.
I'll also say, to set the stage a little bit for everybody, as good an atmosphere as this usually is down here in Austin, it's a good-looking stadium, good atmosphere. They played a lot of home games lately. It's a Sunday night. It's warm. I have a feeling it's not going to be exactly full tonight. So
and it's kind of weird because everybody's wearing purple. I'm not sure. They gave up on the green thing already? I'm not sure.
I can't.
It was weird seeing them in purple the other night.
It's going to be weird again tonight.
I can't say I fully understand it, but hey, you do you, y'all. It's your stadium, not mine. But, as we look here at the midfield as well tonight, a little bit of rotation there. Ramiro, the captain, he is in, but it's going to be Christian Kappas next to him, not his normal mate, Ka'ike. That's because Ka'ike, congratulations to him and his partner. They had their first child early, and luckily, Ka'ike even made it down here. He is on the bench tonight, so he may be able to come in, imbued with the spirit of new fatherhood, as many of the players for FC Dallas has been this year. But, Ryan, we talked a little bit about this, Steve and I, in the first segment. This probably means that we're going to see a little bit more of the stay behind the more traditional 6 Ramiro, and this is going to allow Kappas to be a little bit more free form, a little bit more of that traditional 8.
Yeah, we saw right before Leagues Cup and going into Leagues Cup, Dallas starting to get more and more possession against teams that they're evenly matched with or even superior to. And I think that may be the case again tonight. Austin rotating some of their lineup. But that's a real, good battle to watch in the middle of the park with Ramiro and Kappas. I think they give Dallas the best chance to have maybe 5% more possession in this game than usual. But Elias Sanchez is a great controller in there as well. He'll likely wear the captain's armband for Austin tonight. So keep an eye on that midfield battle. Both teams going with a double pivot in there, and that could be where the game is won or lost.
And I think, Steve, the reserve choices tonight for Dallas is going to be important because while I don't know that those two can't play 90, maybe they can for all I know, but you've got on the bench tonight available in midfield Ron Benjamin, you've got Clay Holstad, and you've got Ka'ike. And outside of Ka'ike, you've kind of got 2 unproven quantities there. So if you need to make a double change in midfield, obviously Ka'ike will be one of them. But you've kind of got some interesting / really unexplored options in those other 2.
Ka'ike, I'm not sure he's been in his best form recently. So Eric Quill might decide to go a different way and just let Ka'ike get a little bit of extra rest and just watch things for a little while. But you're right, as Eric Quill starts making these choices, they're going to be important, and that might be a little bit of a tip for one of our keys, too.
Yeah, so one of the players that was questionable coming in, Patrick Delgado, we know he picked up some kind of injury in that Querétaro game. Unfortunately, was not fit to at least be on the bench tonight, so that's another piece in midfield that's not available.
And a guy like Caleb Swan, who's been on the roster, did not make it down to Austin as well. So it could be the Clay Holstad redemption night after a bit of a shaky outing against Querétaro at Mansfield Stadium. But as we move back here, we get to the back line, and that's where we see the most changes tonight. No Shaq Moore, he is on the bench. No Nolan Norris, he's not even in the building because he's yellow card suspended. So that means you've got Osaze Urguide, that's great. Sebastian Ibiaga having a pretty good year, 34 season. But it's Lalas Abubakar getting his second start of 2026. His first was in Seattle when they played the Sounders at Lumen Field. And, Ryan, we know that Abubakar has had quality throughout his career, but it's been kind of up and down during his Dallas tenure. And I guess if you want to look at it, this may be the matchup to try to get him some minutes, especially since you pretty much have to. But I would imagine that this is a matchup where Ozuni and Ramirez are maybe going to try to dial in on.
Yeah, it'll be interesting also to see what shape they go with in terms of who's on the left, who's on the right. Do they stick Ibiaga out on the left where he hasn't done his best work, or do they say let's get him in his most comfortable spot and then it'll be Abubakar on the same side as Bernie Kamungo? That could be a trouble point for Dallas building out to the back, just something to keep an eye on. But that was always going to be the case with no Nolan Norris out there. He's been so crucial in the build-up. I think you're right, though, that if you had to give Lawless a game, and I think, he's been a willing member of the squad, always a very positive guy in the locker room, and he certainly has earned an opportunity. This is one where Austin likes to put the ball in the box. They like to send crosses in towards Ramirez, and his biggest strength is winning the ball in the air. So I think this is a good opportunity for him to get in there and show his strengths and show why he's still a valuable member of the squad.
And not just that, Ryan. I really feel like he's a guy that, as you said, he's always so positive. He's a very sweet guy. He's also the kind of guy that he's okay to sit on the bench, but that when he heard he's going to start, when he found out he's going to start, he relishes the opportunity because he wants to get in there. He is a good guy. He wants to get in there and help his team. Now, previously, the way he's helped his team is by being good in training, being a good influence in the locker room, being a veteran. But now he really can go out tonight and help them get points. So I'm sure he's very excited about it. My only real worry is he going to be a little too excited? You know, we saw him not long ago go out and get a couple of yellow cards, and that put his team in a bad place. So I really feel like he's really going to relish the opportunity to help his team get points tonight.
It's a funny dichotomy because he has 200 games of MLS experience, but it's just been so long since he's been getting consistent minutes. He's still a guy that played 29 games for the team last season, so he's got quality and he's got to show it tonight.
Well, before we get to our keys to the match, let's look a little bit at Austin here. The home side as the Verde and Purple are filling in, I guess, this evening. But, Ryan, they're kind of in a weird spot because, as we mentioned, had good success in Leagues Cup. What is also true, their MLS tenure has been not very good. They've got an interim manager in Davey Arnaud, who's been with Austin since the first day pretty much. They've got a new manager incoming in Jim Curtin. But it seems like under Arnaud, and we mentioned this on the build-up this week, that he's pretty much got nothing to lose, so he's playing for the next game. He's not looking at 27 or 28 or 29. He's trying to get the most he can out of what he's got in front of him every single match, and I think that's what really makes this particular squad dangerous tonight.
Yeah, and Davey Arnaud has been here since the beginning. Since the club was founded, he was an assistant with Josh Wolf, and he continued on up until now. This is his third time in an interim role at the helm, and so he's got a little bit of experience, and he knows the squad inside and out. Some of these guys that have been here since their inaugural roster, obviously has a deep relationship with them, and he knows their qualities, and I think that's the point there, is that he's got them playing in a way that plays to everybody's strengths. Maybe it's not the way they want to build the squad long term, but it's working for them right now, and we'll see if they can carry that form back into MLS play.
And while, Steve, they do have Ilya Sanchez tonight, he's probably going to be the captain for Austin. One big piece they don't have is Owen Wolf, the midfielder who actually scored here in this fixture 1 year ago today to give a 1-1 draw for each side, is out with injury. And that has become a very integral piece for whoever the coach was, be it Arnaud or Nico Esteves.
I know we just got past the 2026 World Cup, but it's okay to start looking at 2030. And if you told me right now he will definitely be a starter on the U.S. national team in 2030, I wouldn't fight with you that much. I really think a lot of that young man, he's been around since, what did he start here, about 16? And he's 21 now, so it's too bad for him, but it's a break for Dallas tonight for sure that he's not available.
Yeah, and in his place, it's their sort of next up-and-coming prospect, and that's Irvin Torres, the 18-year-old creative midfielder. He's really been a solid presence for them and providing chances to the likes of Uzuni in recent games.
And he's already been in transfer rumors to other bigger clubs, specifically in Mexico. So they just kind of have a little bit of a pipeline because, if you'll recall, in the first game these two teams played, a guy named Sebastian Berhalter was a midfielder on the bench. So there's a bit of a midfield pipeline here in Austin, regardless of who's at the helm. But one player we're watching out for tonight, Ryan, is the forward Mirto Uzuni. 9 goals, 1 assist in 19 games. He's coming off a 4-goal campaign in Leagues Cup. And in fairness, one of those was a hat trick, which doesn't make it any less impressive. But he is in really, really good form right now. He's going to be a menace for Dallas tonight.
Yeah, this was a weird signing from the beginning for them. They already had brought Brandon Vasquez in for big money, and it seemed like these guys were both kind of prototypical number 9s, wanted to play in the same space. But with Vasquez still struggling in his return from injury, it's been about Uzuni, and he found his finishing touch in recent weeks in Leagues Cup in particular. A really good goal against Club America, just a nice curling finish. It's one of those where when you're riding the hot hand as a forward, the goals just come easier. You're willing to make those selfless runs in behind, and you know he was itching to start tonight, even as the other DPs wait in reserve.
Well, before we get to the national anthems and our last break before kickoff, let's get our keys to the match. They're presented by Toyota, and they're also presented by Steve Davis.
Thank you, Sam. Number 1, got him, we call Oz. He's got to be absolute money tonight. That's Osaze Urguide. The back line has been so good for Dallas this year, especially on the road. Just 9 road goals allowed in 9 matches. Well, two of the three first-team selections back there are not available, so Osaze Urguide needs to put on the cape tonight and never get a foot wrong. Number 2 is they've got to win the transitions. Both teams are going to find it hard to break down the other's defense once they get set. So Austin drops into a 5-4-1 pretty quick. FC Dallas isn't great at breaking down those low blocks. Similarly, I just said Dallas is very good once they get set. So I could easily see transition moments deciding this match. And number 3 is the right personnel choices. The team's performance staff can provide managers with some metrics on who might be more physical up for the job right now, but the manager still has a lot to weigh in when he considers who has the extra reserves physically and emotionally. Eric Quill has got to be spot on with his selections and his substitutions tonight, given this congested schedule. So if he gets just one of them wrong, Austin could take advantage of that, and those are your keys presented by Toyota.
Thank you, Steve Davis. FC Dallas scoring first has been very beneficial for them. 7 wins, 1 losses, 3 draws in the 11 matches that Dallas has scored first. They'll be in their Road Inferno kits tonight. Meanwhile, Austin FC will be in their Violet Crown, that is purple on purple tonight here as they return to MLS play. But that's going to do it for the pregame show. When we return, Ryan and Steve will get you ready for first half action here from Q2 Stadium. It's FC Dallas, it's Austin FC, it's Copa Tejas in the state capital. You're listening to the FC Dallas Soccer presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
Hey campers, it's Jan from Toyota. This summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota, and the fun starts now! We're kicking things off by kicking up mud. Jump in, campers. We're going off-roading in a 4Runner. Next, we're heading to the hot springs in a RAV4. And finally, park your Tundras and Tacomas around the campfire because we're roasting marshmallows. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
It's a moment when I show up, God, I'm saying wow.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, the casino of FC Dallas, where 10,000 electronic games, plus roulette, craps, and blackjack is just the beginning. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa, rest in one of our vast hotel towers, and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the world of WinStar.
God, I'm saying wow.
Want to hear something incredible? That's Eleanor. Just 10 hours after being born, Eleanor was airlifted to Children's Health and met by our expert team trained in cardiac and critical care.
The treatments are over, the infusions are done. Now you can get back to all the kid fun. We'll miss you lots, but you'll be happy to know chemo is over, so it's time to go.
At Children's Health, we're making groundbreaking advancements in cancer treatments every day to bring more healing and more hope to families. Innovative treatments filled with hope. That's incredible together. Learn more at childrens.com.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
We welcome you into the heart of Texas tonight at Q2 Stadium as MLS resumes with a Copa Tejas clash in the capital. FC Dallas visiting local rivals Austin FC. The hosts are resurgent under interim manager Davey Arnaud, but Eric Quill's side have been excellent away from home this season. After a quick trip down I-35, they put that road form to the test tonight under the Sunday night lights. Thank you for tuning in here on the FC Dallas Radio Network. My name is Ryan Figert. Alongside me in the booth is Steve Davis. And Steve, we've got a matchup here between two familiar rivals, two familiar foes. It's going to look a little bit different in terms of the color that the hosts are wearing tonight, with Austin switching to their Archive Collection kit, which is all purple. But ultimately, both sides having to rotate a little bit. It's going to be won by the big players tonight, it feels like. Yeah, I think so. You know, you said it's going to be familiar in some ways, it will, but unfamiliar, and that both teams are going to have to dip into the bench a little bit more. It looks to me like 5, maybe 6 regulars are playing
tonight, starting at least tonight for Austin.
A couple of those being honored right now. Brad Stuver and John Gallagher both holding up uniforms at the halfway line with 200 along the back. They are two originals of this club being honored tonight. Brad Stuver starting for the 138th straight game for Austin FC, as he'll be in all blue with his team in all purple. Dallas in their white kit with red accents. The only person wearing green in the building tonight is Jonathan Sirois, the Dallas goalkeeper. And Steve, he had himself an excellent Leagues Cup, a couple of shutouts against Mexican opposition, even showed well in that loss at Toluca, and it's going to be another big one for him tonight, but behind a rotated back line.
As he came in from Montreal, we all wondered, what could this guy be? I'll be honest, I didn't think he was very good at Montreal. But then again, nobody's very good at Montreal, through the years. So we all wondered, what could he be when he's got a stable defense in front of him? And I think we're seeing now, we're even hearing whispers that might be some foreign interest in him as well.
Dallas is making their way out onto the field now, huddling down to our left. They'll move from left to right from our broadcast vantage point here in the first half. Joined now in the huddle by the captain, Ramiro. And Austin make their way out into formation down to our right in the all-purple. They'll move from right to left here in the first half at Q2 Stadium. Dallas, excellent this season when scoring first. Austin, the exact opposite. They've given away 11 leads this season, and that means for Dallas, even if they get on the back foot initially, there's always a hope of getting back into the game against this season's Austin FC.
And really, Ryan, what says instability in a bigger unit than the inability to hold a lead? Because that's when you told us that on the drive down here today, I just about stopped the car and got out. That's amazing.
A quick embrace between Ilie Sanchez and Santi Moreno, but those pleasantries will be put aside as we're moments away from kickoff here in the Texas Capitol. The referee in a neon green top is Rami Tushan, and video assistant referee JC Rivero waiting back in North Texas. And it will be Dallas to get things going. Santi Moreno in the spotlight in the center circle, awaiting the referee's go ahead here as Dallas plays on Sunday Night Soccer for the first time in 2026. And Steve, interesting note here before we get set to go. Wallace Abubakar starting on the left side, Ibiaga on the right in the back three.
Yeah, we wonder what that would look like exactly. We've seen Ibiaga in the middle. We've seen Asaze in the middle. Don't think we've seen, I don't remember last year was in the three, was Wallace Abubakar ever right in center? I don't believe so, but so we thought it would be one of the two.
Santi Moreno now sets the ball down. And we await the referee's whistle and the final shades of sunlight across the stadium here.
Yeah, some of the fans over there still got to fight that sun, but most of the field in the shadows now.
Santi Moreno drops it back to Sirois. We are underway at Q2 Stadium. He launches it out towards the Dallas right. And it's headed back into the Dallas end. Uragide volleys forward to the halfway line. Teams trade passes back and forth. Now Johansson lifts it forward towards the front line. Repelled away and controlled by Ramiro. Over to Kappas, who puts the ball in behind for Musa along the right side. Two waiting in the middle. Musa wide on the right. Digs out the cross towards Kamungo over his head at the back post.
It's a good midfield win there by Kappas, winning strong, and the ball just popped fortuitously ahead for Musa. Just overcooked the cross a little bit.
Out for a throw-in for Austin on the far sideline. So again, Austin will move from right to left in this first half as we describe the action for you. Rosales hammers it down the field. Azuni had a full sprint to try and reach it, but it's going to bounce through for Sirois. Settles it at his feet outside the area and moves it along. Ibiaga rolling forward into midfield. Valiente back to Ramiro. Ramiro's pass through the center circle up to Musa. It was a little bit under hit, and Musa was dispossessed there. And Austin make their way up the near side with Gallagher. Into the final third now. Cut back ball outside the box into the middle for Azuni. And now Ilie Sanchez, formerly Kansas City and LAFC, where he won an MLS Cup. Moves it along now out to the opposite side. Rosales checks back for Djordjevic. They'll recycle it along the back line here. Ilie dropping deep just outside the center circle. We'll recycle it once again over to that right side, where Santi Moreno now increasingly interested in the press. Now stepping their line up as Biro lifts this over the top. Nobody making a run in a purple uniform. It'll bounce through to Sirois.
Pretty standard stuff for Dallas as far as the alignment. We talked about the back three, but really it's a back five. Bernie Kamungo on one side and Herman Johansson on the other side when they're out of possession. Then the wide guys up front, they get even wider in defense, and it becomes a 5-4-1.
Ramiro on it, deep in the Dallas half. Exchange of passes as it breaks wide to this near side for Ibiaga. Back into Ramiro. Ibiaga plays it up the line looking for Johansson. Away from him by Gallagher. Up in the air. Nice header won there by Ramiro up against Christian Ramirez. And Dallas will move it along the ground out to Lawless Abubakar in just his second start of the season. Plays the ball forward for Moreno. In behind now for Kamungo. Foot race to get there. That Svatak had the inside line. He sweeps it out of play, but Kamungo was offside.
Yeah, that was a terrific pass, though, from Santi Marino. Turned, found a little space, got his head up, and really threaded the needle there. Bernie Kamungo, I wasn't sure. It wasn't obvious that he was offside, so he must have just been off.
Kamungo played nearly every minute of a very packed schedule in Leagues Cup. Continues at left wing back tonight. That's Austin building up on his side, but eventually losing possession. It's recovered by Osaze Uragide in the Dallas half. Played forward to Moreno on the halfway line. He'll bounce it back once again for Abubakar. And now Ramirez putting pressure on Uragide. He rolls it forward. Nice pass to find Valiente. Bounced wide for Ibiaga. Lifted forward to the front line, Musa. Perfect touch there to find Ramiro. Back to the Moose, who loses out there with some defensive help from Uzuni. All the way back through for Brad Stuver. He's now on the second longest starting streak in MLS history behind Luis Robles. Going back to July of 2022 since Austin played an MLS match without Brad Stuver in goal.
Not that anybody in Dallas will be surprised to hear this, but 96 at kickoff.
Launched over the top of the Dallas back line, but again it bounces through for Sirois to come and claim. Testing Abubakar on the left side of the Dallas defense. He plays it wide to Kamungo, shy of the halfway line. He'll recycle possession back once again along the Dallas back line. Ramiro, time in his own half here. Pointing, trying to direct traffic. Rolled out to the left side. Now Moreno combining with Valiente through the center channel. Back to Ramiro, who's dispossessed by Irvin Torres. The 18-year-old loses out to Valiente. Good recovery work there for the Uruguayan. And Dallas now working it on their left side. Svatak sliding in, and that one's going to slide all the way through. Sirois will prevent it going over the line, and he'll have it at his feet instead.
Just 5 minutes in. Don't believe either team's had a touch in the opposition penalty box. The one cross from Musa flew over Bernie Kamungo, so neither team really able to solve the midfield puzzle right now.
Sirois eventually picks the ball up and fires it along the ground to Uragide. Out to the left side for Kamungo, just shy of halfway. He darts infield on the dribble, past the first man. Now combining, Ramiro finds Moreno. Slips past Ilie, and now in behind for Kamungo along the left side, into the area. Bernie Kamungo just wide. And he's got to do better there. Musa right in attendance as well.
Musa might have helped him if he'd run off just a little bit and give the defender, the chasing defender, something to think about. But hey, does Santi Marino look like he's in the mood? The second time he has opened up the Austin defense. First time Bernie Kamungo went in just a little bit early, but my heavens, what a good lead pass for Bernie Kamungo there, and you're right. Bernie Kamungo will want that one back.
Tried to roll it into the near post. The goalkeeper's right, just ended up a foot or so wide. Stuver hits it downfield, and Abubakar will drop it off for Sirois. Dallas back in possession. Out to Johansson, who's immediately under pressure inside the area. He'll drop it off for Sirois to send clear. Contested headers in the Dallas half, but it's the Hoops who come away with it. Working it ahead to Kamungo. Brings it beyond the halfway line, now checks it back for Christian Kappas, who is just settling into the Dallas midfield when these two teams met here last year. Here's Moreno lifting the ball over the top towards Musa, just out of his reach, and it runs through for a goal kick. Stuver will set up the goal kick down to our right with the Austin fans in full voice behind him. chips it out to the left side for Biro, who receives it, no pressure on him, and lifts it forward towards the front line, easily intercepted by Osaze Aragide. And now Kappas starts through the middle of the field, taking 2 players out and finding Moreno in the left center channel. Now ahead to Kamungo, just outside the area. Bernie Kamungo with his defender on the back foot, cuts it back for Santi Moreno. Over to the right side, Valiente's shot rolls wide.
Dallas with 2 good scoring opportunities, maybe 1.5 in the last couple of minutes. Starting to find the spaces now. Santi Moreno, find that man right now because he's running the thing.
And Stuvert taking his time to restart play, letting the players on the field do some organizing, because right now Dallas is finding dangerous pockets of space. A lot of it coming through the Colombian number 10. Stuvert rolls it to the Austin right. Djordjevic drops it off for Svatak, who scoops it out to the sideline. Irvin Torres never going to keep that one in play, but Kappas has whistled for a foul there. And it'll give Austin possession back with a free kick in their own half.
And Moreno really found Valiente in a good spot there inside the penalty area as Moreno turned at the top of the D, and Valiente just couldn't wrap his left foot around it well enough at about 15 or 16 yards.
Ilie Sanchez deep in his own half here, receives it, no pressure on him. He'll move it along the back line. Sabovic in midfield alongside him, getting a rare touch here in the opening 10 minutes as Dallas have controlled 61% of possession so far. Sanchez trying to get more touches deeper, dictating the pace of play. He's got it here in the left center back space. Dallas stepping the pressure up with Valiente and Ramiro. Sabovic turning in front of the back 3, playing it over to the Austin right. Rolled forward for Irvin Torres in a pocket of space, trying to play it up the line towards Rosales, deflected out by Kamungo for an Austin throw. Ilie Sanchez once again fires it over towards this near side, right at the halfway line. Gallagher receives it, moving backwards, and he'll play it back to Svatak. Djordjevic finding Irvin Torres on the turn, who puts the ball in behind for the run of Ramirez, but it runs through for Sirois, who clears his lines. Kept in play well by Santi Moreno on the far sideline. He sets it down for Kamungo, plays the ball into the middle for Valiente, through towards Musa. Musa's first touch showed a little bit too much of it to Svatak, and Sabovic comes away with it for Austin. Referee plays advantage as they make their way up the far side. Rosales cutting back onto his favored left foot, looking to switch the play. Well read by Ibiaga. And now Valiente has it, middle of the park for Dallas.
Just now.
Oh, giveaway there, and pass intended for Kappas. Ramirez wins it back, moving backwards as Ozuni has it now in the center circle. Could have been a lot worse than it was, as Ramirez was coming back from an offside position, just not spotted by Joaquin Valiente there. Austin still in possession on this near side.
Really good opening 10 minutes for FC Dallas.
Rosales, left-footed player, playing as the right wing back for Austin, plays it backwards, and they'll swing it along the back line again. Ilie Sanchez just shy of the halfway line, now into the attacking half for Biro on this near side. Early cross along the ground, easily picked off by Kamungo. Quick combination with Ramiro, who scoops it out towards the left side, but overhit that one, and it will run out for another Austin throw. Dallas immediately stepping the lineup with Osaze Aragide leading the charge in the middle of that back 3.
Ryan, I'm not sure if it's tactical or just the way the game's played out so far. It's still early, but so far Dallas very interested in attacking the right side. I mean the left side, not so much the right.
Ozuni receives it, immediately taken away from him by Johansson. Breaks for Valiente, right center channel. Switching the point of attack over to Santi Moreno. Right-footed curling effort saved by Stuver, diving to his left. It'll be a corner.
Moreno likes to pass more than shoot, but he found himself with a little bit of space in front of him at the left corner of the penalty area. Really made Stuver work hard for that one as he tried to find that upper right corner. Moreno just looks like he's up for this one.
Good save by Stuver. Was definitely bound for the top corner, maybe not enough power to really test the veteran goalkeeper. As Valiente and Moreno make their way across to the near corner flag.
All that started on a really nice tackle by Herman Johansson.
Moreno steps away. Valiente whips it in towards the top of the 6. Urquide's header is off target. And I think the referee blew the whistle for a free kick in the melee anyways.
Judging by the fact that there's still an Austin player down, I would say so.
And Rosales a little bit slow to get up, but the end result is essentially the same. It's just about a goal kick.
Just got to look at that. That's a pretty good save from Brad Stuver because that ball was dipping into that upper right corner. Minute to go from Santi Moreno.
First shot on target for either side. 12 minutes into the game. Stuver got it here inside his own area. Rolled to the right for Svatak. Continuing to bait Dallas forward into the press. Musa waiting on the top of the box. Now he steps forward towards Stuver. Musa trying to cut the field in half with his positioning. Ilie Sanchez does well just to switch the play over to Svatak. Now he's got it once again just outside the area. Along the ground towards the near side for Biro. Played into the middle for Irvin Torres. Big role for the 18-year-old tonight with Facu Torres on the bench, the designated player, and Owen Wolf out injured for Austin. Austin moving possession along the back line here, just shy of the halfway line. Dallas waiting with that front line of 5, ready to capitalize on any loose touch. As Djordjevic lifts it forward, flicked along for the runner Rosales. Sirois out off his line, read it well, and sends it clear. Santi Moreno wins the ball, nodding it over towards Musa. Poked over to the right for Valiente. Set back for Musa in the middle. Musa to his right foot. Thinking about lining up the shot, now sets it wide for Johansson. Time and space for the Swede. Back for Ramiro. Now they work the 3-man game on the right side. Johansson from the corner of the area plays it ahead to Valiente, and they'll recycle possession now along the back as nothing really emerged there. Out to the left side now for Kamungo, wide to the 18. Nice slip pass into the middle for Santi Moreno. Sets it into the D for Ramiro. First time pass forward looking for Musa. Breaks back for Christian Kappas with the shot from distance up and over the bar.
Christian Kappas finally said enough of this. I'm going to have a shot. And I thought Herman Johansson could have crossed or shot. He was at the right corner of the penalty area. And then it was Ramiro who passed up on an opportunity to shoot. So finally as the ball rolled back into Kappas' path, he hit it hard with his left foot. Just couldn't find the target.
And since that early 60-40 possession advantage for Dallas, Austin clearly trying to take the sting out of this game. A lot of this, which is slow possession in their back half, with Ilie Sanchez on the ball as he is here.
Yeah, the possession number will sort of flatter Austin a little bit, but they're not going anywhere with this.
Yeah, lifting it forward and over the head of Irvin Torres. Runs through for Sirois, who's been busy without making a save so far. Out off his line well.
Yeah, as he got out aggressively a minute ago, he connected with that ball at about 30 yards off his line, and he had to get there quick.
Ibiaga wide on the Dallas right, just shy of the halfway line, moves it back into the middle for Urquide. Cross for Abubakar. Played wide for Kamungo, combining with Santi Moreno, shy of the halfway line. On the Dallas way through to Sirois, closed down by Torres. He lifts it out towards Ibiaga, nodded out of play by Uzuni.
Santi Moreno making himself available as he drops back a little bit more to try to help them get out of the back there as Austin presses. I'd like to see him find Santi Moreno there. I think he can take the ball and beat the first guy and get Dallas out.
Fired up to the halfway line. Ramiro trying to flick it on towards Musa. Possession back with Austin. And move it backwards for Stuver. Svatak in the middle of the back 3. Ahead to Sabovic. Passes back towards Biro. Loose touch there. And Valiente gets his body in the way. Wins it back. Ramiro, right center channel. Sets it wide for Valiente. Now back with the captain. Combining short passes in the middle with Kappas. Ramiro back now for Urquide. Over to Abubakar and wide now with Kamungo. Halfway into the Austin half. Valiente floating across to make up the numbers there. Eventually, Austin poked that one out for a throw.
Santi Moreno again begging for the ball in there, showing for it, putting his hands down, and they finally find him now.
Receives it on the turn from the throw, moving infield. Head up, switch it to Ibiaga. Now back into the middle for Ramiro. just outside the center circle. Played along the ground out towards Johansson. That pass intercepted by Gallagher, who drives forward past the halfway line against Ibiaga here in the wide channel. Now in towards the attacking third. Gallagher making his way around the outside, whips in the cross towards Ramirez, headed away by Uragide. And volleyed clear by Johansson up towards Musa, who was in an offside position. Austin quickly restart play. Possession at the halfway line. Rosales moving out towards the Austin right.
I promised last time I'll say it, but if I'm Eric Quill, I'm just screaming at them, find Santi's feet instead of trying to a risky pass out to Johansson on the wing that got intercepted.
Azuni has it just shy of the halfway line, passes backwards for Biro. Austin possession in their own half here. Santi Moreno starred in a couple of those Cascadia Cup rivalry games over the years for Portland up against Seattle and Vancouver. He was particularly good in those games. As Johansson battling with Azuni and nearly came away with it, but he was penalized there for a free kick, which Austin takes short, moving it along again in their own half.
Azuni looked like he had a coat made out of Herman Johansson there for a minute.
Fatak all the way back now to Stuver. Dallas stepped the pressure up. Stuver lifting it into the middle. Uragide trying to hop the passing lane, got a piece but didn't control it. And then he commits the foul. And Christian Ramirez 5 yards into the Austin half.
It's a smart foul because I think he did well initially, and then the ball just sort of popped back on the other side of him, and he knew that his teammates might be in trouble if he didn't go in hard for the ball there and foul if he had to.
Sabovic in the Austin side of the halfway circle, moving it backwards and over to this left side for Biro. Back for Svatak as Musa puts the pressure on and move it out to the right side, a little bit loose, looking for Djordjevic, who will hammer it up towards halfway, easily brought down by Ramiro. Volleyed forward to the feet of Musa, set down for Valiente at the top of the D, trying to slip it in on the right side. Nobody really looking to pull the trigger in the final third so far, aside from Santi Moreno. Runs out for a Dallas throw, taken backwards to Ibiaga.
Yeah, again, you're right. I'm shocked that Valiente didn't. He's moving at pace, 18 yards out. Didn't have a shot.
Scored his first Dallas goal in the Leagues Cup against Querétaro. It's wide with Kamungo into the middle for Kappa's first time pass forward, looking for Moreno's deflected. And Austin have possession. Torres back for Rosales, who scoops it forward towards the halfway line, easily picked off there by Uragide. 4 shots to 0 so far for Dallas. They had the one on target, saved by Stuver. As we're scoreless through 20 minutes. Santi Moreno, the main catalyst so far. He's got it. Passes backwards to Abubakar at the halfway line. Now working nicely in the left center channel. Rolled across for Valiente. Driving through the middle. Fires a shot from distance. And Stuver diving to his right. Palms it behind for a corner. Looked like he got a deflection along the way and made that one more difficult for the Austin number 1. It'll be a corner from the far flag this time, and Moreno jogs across to take it.
Well, he didn't take one from 18 yards, but he took one from 28. And look what happened. He got a corner kick out of it.
Second corner of the game. First one ended up with a free kick given to Austin.
Meanwhile, Ryan, I still don't think that Austin's had a touch inside Dallas' penalty area. They had the cross a minute ago, but that was headed away.
5 inside the Austin 18. As Moreno readies the corner. Whipped in off the right foot towards the back post, and Abubakar rising highest nods it off target. As Stuver got caught up in the traffic and nearly presented itself for Lawless in just his second start of the season. But we know he can be a real set-piece weapon.
I mean, you might say he got caught up in the traffic. I thought he just sort of misjudged the flight of the ball.
In any case, second straight corner where Dallas made the first contact. Something to keep an eye on going forward. With 3 aerially dominant center backs in the lineup, certainly an avenue to goals. Svatak has it under some pressure inside his own 18. Puts Djordjevic under more pressure, wide to the right. And Kamungo able to block the clearance, come away with it, and win a free kick. Wide on the Dallas left. in the attacking third, and it's another good opportunity here from the set piece.
A nice tackle there from Bernie Kamungo. Mentioned a while ago, one opportunity created when Herman Johansson had gotten forward and made a nice tackle right about 30 yards off the goal for Austin. So the wingbacks are doing their job tonight.
Another chance for the center backs to get forward. Johansson in there as well, 6'3". It's a very tall Dallas contingent waiting 12 yards from Brad Stuver's goal as Valiente and Santi Moreno stand over the free kick. Wide on the far side. Moreno steps over it, leaves it for Valiente in towards the near post. Musa flicks it along, and it's saved by Stuver. Not sure he was looking to shoot with the flick, more so maybe find a teammate, but could have caught the goalkeeper out with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was, I guess that was by design, you think? It wasn't.
I mean, he made the run right to the spot.
Yeah.
Could just be the poacher's instinct. Sanchez from the base of the center circle over to Biro here, shy of halfway for Austin. Dallas really needs to take advantage and get on the scoreboard with their early dominance in this one. A lot of options off the bench for Davy Arnaud in the second half, potentially some of his usual starters. Zilier Sanchez has it, time and space at the halfway line, rolled out to the right side for Djordjevic. Makes his way forward from the back three. Back into the middle for Ilie. Two captains matched up right alongside each other in that midfield battle as it's lifted out towards Rosales, keeping it in play at the byline on the far side, makes his way into the Dallas area, looking to cut onto his left foot, sets it back to the top of the box. Sabovic looking for a lane, and the slip pass back through, runs all the way through for a goal kick. There's your first entry into the penalty area for Austin on the night.
Yeah, 25th minute, easily Austin's best thrust forward so far, as Lalas Abubakar sort of got turned around a little bit over there. Just a little bit of leakage on Dallas's left side. In the end, though, just a goal kick.
If you're just joining us, a couple of the regulars along the Dallas back line not involved tonight. Nolan Norris suspended for yellow card accumulation. Shaq Moore available off the bench. Sirois readies the goal kick.
I know Nolan's played a lot in Leagues Cup, but you know it's killing him to miss. He's a Texas kid, so I'm sure it's killing him to miss this one.
Sirois' goal kick floats out of play over the head of Johansson. Throw for Austin at the halfway line. Biro launching it up to the sideline, looking for Ramirez, but it's going to run through as Uragide came out to meet him. And Sirois come and pick it up. Over to Lalas Abubakar, and now wide for Bernie Kamungo. Back for Lalas once again. Both teams playing with three at the back in a wingback shape. Fired forward up towards Valiente over his head. Turns over to Austin, the middle third. Sabovic now out to the right side. Abubakar sliding, got a piece of it, and now it breaks kindly for Kamungo to make his way up the far sideline. Into the attacking half, up against three defenders. Checks back and finds Moreno well. Kappas makes the run through. Moreno, nice slip pass through to find him inside the area. Crosses headed away by Svatak. Up in the air, Ramiro, another big header one up against Tuzuni. Trying to keep the attack alive here. Ramiro forward to Moreno. Moreno over to Kappas, big sliding tackle, and it'll be a Dallas throw as it bounced off of young Irvin Torres. Christian Kappas getting stuck in there.
Second time today he's won one of those big, tough physical tackles.
Kamungo, ball in hand, ready to take the throw. Fires it towards Musa, but way underplayed that one. Volleyed away, and then Abubakar's whistled for a free kick going into the back of the player there on the far sideline.
Abubakar holding his hands up. I think I sort of agree with him. I thought he won it pretty clean, and yeah, he had his hands up on somebody over there, but it wasn't that physical a challenge.
Djordjevic under pressure from Musa, rolls it back to Svatak, still under pressure from the Moose, and Svatak finds the free man. Biro making his way forward up the near side, combining with Gallagher at the halfway line. Azuni from the center circle, out towards Rosales, pass a little bit over hit, but he'll keep it in play near the flag on the far side. Cutting back to his left, a bending ball in towards the back post, nodded back to the top of the box. Here's Azuni, combining with Gallagher. Near side corner of the 18, up to Azuni again. Azuni slip pass through towards Gallagher, saved by Sirois at the near post, and eventually cleared by Uragide. First save there for Jonathan Sirois, and that's a big one, as Austin found a rare break there through the Dallas pressure.
Well, what they did was they got out in transition, and once they broke the pressure back there, they had Dallas sort of scrambling, running back toward their own goal, and Dallas never really got reset.
Ilie Sanchez possession just outside the center circle in the Austin half.
So whereas Dallas had the little flurry a while ago where they really had Austin pinned and scrambling, now Austin's sort of doing the same here as we approach the half-hour mark.
Svatak looking for the diagonal out to the near side. That one well over hit, floats out of play. Eric Quill applauds his team. They'll look at things like that on the scouting report, which of the center backs they want hitting that pass versus they'd rather not. Clearly, that was part of the plan there. Svatak overhits it. Johansson takes the throw up to Musa, set down for Ramiro, volleys it forward, but nobody there. And it'll bounce through for Austin. Dallas maybe ruining not taking any of those early chances. Austin have certainly stabilized things here halfway through the first half. Valiente battling with Biro. It's near sideline. Austin maintained possession. Ilie, now 35 years of age. Cold hero at a couple of different MLS clubs. Fired forward towards Azuni. First touch cannons off of Uragide. And Dallas have possession back with Osaze. Through to Moreno. Nice little flick to find Kappas in the center circle. Kappas rolls it forward for Valiente, set back towards him, but over his head. And the ball breaks kindly back for Joaquin Valiente. Sprays it wide to the left side for Santi Moreno. Musa waiting at the back post. Moreno looking for him with the cross, and it runs through for a goal kick. Biro just keeping Musa company there at the back post as we head now into a much needed first half hydration break as we're in the high 90s, even with the sun setting at Q2 Stadium tonight.
I like the idea and the aggressive mindset from Santi Moreno a minute ago as Valiente sprayed a ball to him out on the left side. Moreno takes one touch, looks up, pulls the ball back to his right foot, and then sees the run interior and just about makes a connection with Petar Musa.
Taking a look at some of the stats here through just about a half hour. 7 shots to now 1. They haven't counted the shot yet, but it certainly was a shot on target saved by Sirois. There, it updates in live time as we talk you through the stats so far in the first half. 2 big chances early in this game for Dallas. Majority of possession with Austin, but a lot of that possession has been just keeping the ball in the back half, not allowing Dallas to have the ball, but not doing much with it either.
Yeah, as Eric Quill talks to the players on the sideline, you know the players can't leave the field, but they're all gathered around him. I think he's got to be pretty happy. The only thing he's not happy about is, as you've referenced a couple of times, is that Dallas didn't put away one of those opportunities. The break on that diagonal run from Burncast slipped in so well by Santi Moreno. That was easily Dallas's best chance. Valiente a little bit later had a nice little left-footed wraparound that also on a pass from Santi Moreno, but he couldn't convert that one. Stuver with a pretty good save on Santi Moreno as he tried to pick out the upper right corner. You'll notice one name keeps coming up there.
Yeah, very active first half for Santi Moreno. We saw him at his best against Querétaro and Leagues Cup play as well. And on the score sheet in that one. Teams now making their way back out onto the field here at Q2 Stadium. Stark contrast in their place in the league. Austin coming into this one in 14th in the West. Dallas have been slowly slipping since the World Cup break down towards the bottom part of the playoff spots, but still in 6th coming into the night. And it's a jumbled mess in the West right now, with Houston leading the way. Still very much within reach of this Dallas team putting a couple of wins together.
Yeah, Dallas in 7th, but there's 5 points separating 5th place from 12th place. So as you said, jumble is a pretty accurate representation.
Stuver restarts play, lifting it forward to Rosales, who's dispossessed by Abubakar. Space for Kamungo, who floats it forward, looking for Musa, but it runs through for Stuver. Quickly rolled ahead to Azuni, and Azuni tripped up at the halfway line by Ramiro, who picks up a yellow card and comes away limping as well.
Again, Austin caught Dallas a little short in the back in the transition. And Austin's been pretty good about this under Davey Arnaud. You know, they defend deep and they hit you in transition. Very different from what they look like under Nico Estevez. And Ramiro recognized the danger. Took one for the team there. And came away with a little knock, it looks like.
Yeah, still hunched over here. And Kaike is being called to go and warm up as Ramiro gingerly walks away from the scene of the free kick. He'll fight through it for now. 12 minutes plus stoppage time from the halftime break. It's Austin restart play, wide with Rosales on the far sideline, trying to make his way infield. Rolls the pass into the middle, intercepted there by Musa. Up quickly to Moreno. Dispossessed, Kappas winning it back, working it back for Abubakar, and referee comes back for a foul. Santi Moreno tripped up. Rolled backwards to Uragide, quickly along the ground to Ibiaga on this near side. Wide for Johansson. First time pass into the middle, finds Valiente, who's wrong side of Ilie. Set back for Kappas, driving forward through the middle. Over to Santi Moreno, quick 1-2, and now it's wide with Kamungo. Outside the area, whipped in off the left foot, volleyed away. And recovered by Lawless Abubakar. Quickly back out to Bernie Kamungo and into the middle for Santi Moreno. The left center channel, will pass back for Osaze. Now let's continue to work this left side. Kappas, nice drop of the shoulder, and then he's tripped up by Irvin Torres, and that's going to draw the first yellow card for Austin in this game. As the move was so nice from Christian Kappas, he's now feeling the effects.
I was about to say it was a nice spin, and Irvin Torres was way late with that one. A moment ago, we saw another cross in Bernie Kamungo. That's about 3 minutes after he floats one in for Petr Musa. I think that's one of the next evolutions in his game. Ryan, you know, he's been very active today. He's getting back, he's getting forward. I think he's going to find good spaces, but if his crossing can become a little bit better from the left side, he'll take another step in his career.
So Valiente and Moreno wide on the Dallas left, about halfway into the Austin half. The line set just inside the penalty area. Moreno this time floated in towards the back post, and it's caught by Brad Stuver inside the 6.
Just a little too much float on that one.
Oh, and Stuver has rolled it right to the foot of Uragide, and the referee is going to bring this one back. Maybe it was deflected, but it looked like to me that Stuver just made a mistake there. I know Saze's making that case as well, and now there's some hand fighting between the two players. Sabovic and Uragide clashing. Love to catch a replay of this because it just looked like a mistake in live time from the usually reliable Brad Stuver.
Yeah, but you know, through the years, he's got one of these every game against Dallas, it seems like.
Oh, he hit Abubakar, who was behind him, but that's on Stuver.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a bailout.
I mean, you still have to be careful as a goalkeeper. I mean, Lawless Abubakar makes no effort to get in front of Brad Stuver there. He's just running by him.
And I mean, he rolled it right to the foot of a Dallas player with an empty net waiting. Referee tonight, Rami Tushan. A little kind there to the former MLS All-Star Brad Stuver.
Tell you something else I see though. Austin players clearly know they can wind up Osaze Uragide. You know, everybody, including Ilie, who's really kind of he's sneaky dark arts guy. You know, they're all in there as Uragide argues his case. They got their hands on him. They're grabbing his jersey.
Ramiro deflects a pass out of play. Still moving a little bit gingerly, the Dallas captain.
Ilya Sanchez almost gives up the ball there. Lucky to get it back.
Stuver rolling it out to this left side. Sanchez dropping in as well to try and help build up. It's scooped forward up the near sideline. Johansson plays it up the sideline towards Ramiro, who's dispossessed, and now Azuni drives forward past the halfway line, met by Abubakar, who's come all the way across here, and forces Azuni back into his own half.
Good hustle back from Dallas. Austin clearly looks most dangerous when Uzuni gets out in transition.
Ilya standing on it on the halfway line. He's almost no doubt had the most possession of the ball of any player for either side. As it's rolled out to the far sideline, Rosales playing it back for Djordjevic, moving backwards in his own half, all the way to the feet of Stuver.
Meanwhile, striker Christian Ramirez start for service. Haven't really, I don't know if have you called his name tonight? I kind of forgot he was playing.
Stuver looking to go long this time. Up towards Johansson, who wins the header. Up towards the halfway line, Ebiaga nodding it across the halfway line where it's picked up by Irvin Torres. Out to this near side, Austin have some numbers with Gallagher facing up Herman Johansson in the wide areas. Set back into the middle for Torres. Switched along the ground. Rosales in the right center channel for Austin. Wide for Djordjevic. Back for Rosales. Spent the last few seasons with Minnesota United. Came over in the offseason from the Loons.
7 touches officially for Christian Ramirez. In the 40th,
I find that hard to believe, to be honest.
I thought it looked high to me too.
All the way back to Stuver. Rolled forward for Sabovic. Turns from the back three for Austin. Hits the brakes on and finds Ilya now at the base of the center circle.
Austin playing at home, just really haven't connected the midfield into the front line tonight.
Wide to Rosales at the halfway line up against Kamungo. He's chasing him backwards now. Djordjevic will turn, once again play it back to Stuver. Stuver gonna hammer this one long. There's runners through the middle. Aragide caught under it, but got it ahead to it just about as he was backpedaling. Found the feet of Kamungo, who's dispossessed. Now it's wide on the Austin right. Here is Ramirez, bending ball towards the back post, out of everybody's reach and behind for a goal kick.
I mean, it's been a real hot and cold night tonight for Bernie Kamungo. He's either, streaking down the left side and making something happen, or he's a little sloppy with the cross or the ball possession.
Dallas, not much of the ball in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Possession now up to 61% for Austin after it was 61% of Dallas's possession in the opening 15. And that early energy maybe zapped by this incredibly congested schedule and oppressive conditions tonight at Q2 Stadium. Kamungo battling with Rosales. He's going to be called for a foul here. On the Austin right side, about 20 yards into the Dallas half. Dallas sets their line right on top of the 18-yard box as the center backs come forward for the hosts. And it's Rosales standing over it. Zuni waiting in an offside position. Everybody else at the top of the Dallas 18-yard box. As Rosales scoops this one in towards the back post, nodded through the 6, volleyed up and then away by Ibeaga. The second opportunity.
Ooh, that could have dropped anywhere.
It's back with Ilya into the Dallas half on this near side. He rolls it into the middle for Torres. Austin now building themselves some momentum as we approach the halftime break. Still just one shot in the game to Dallas' 6. It's wide with Rosales, poked in field for Torres, who gives it away. Now Santi Moreno receives it, and he brings it forward on the dribble through the middle third. Up to Musa. A return pass intended for Moreno. Turns over. And Now Austin make their way forward up the near side. Gallagher sets it wide for Biro. Cutback ball finds Rosales ahead to Ozuni, the man in form. And Ozuni gives it away to Musa. And Dallas looking for a way out here of some Austin pressure. Uragide, possession in his own half, scoops it up the near sideline, but just turns it over. And there are some tired legs in that Dallas front three right now. No outlet going the other way at the moment.
Yeah, nobody making himself available there for Sasi Uragide, and he was desperate to look up, get his head up, and try to find somebody.
Johansson flicks it up in the air off of a loose Austin pass. Uragide brings it down. Now he splits two players on the dribble. And it breaks kindly towards Valiente. Sabovic gets his body in the way, comes away with it, and plays forward through contact. Referee plays advantage. Zuni has it now just into the Dallas half. Ilie Sanchez in the middle. Over to Sabovic in the center circle. Out wide to the far side for Rosales. 90 seconds plus stoppage time to play here in the opening half. First matchup between these two teams this season. As Gallagher darts in off the near sideline. Sanchez back wide for Biro, is being closed down here by Johansson as he moves it backwards again into the Austin half. Sabovic back for Ilie. The one to try and do the problem solving. The back half for Austin. He lifts this one forward. Ibiaga wins the header. And it picks out Santa Moreno, who will drive forward now from the center circle in towards the attacking third in the right center channel. Scoots ball up towards Musa. Musa trying to nod it back towards Valiente, but it flicks off his head. And it runs through for Stuver to collect.
Yeah, twice there in the last 90 seconds. Just, you wonder about the chemistry between Moreno and Musa. It's not bad, but it's just not quite fully developed yet.
To me, the biggest takeaway for Musa in this first half is that he looks exhausted out there, even from the start. Maybe 10-15 minutes, had a good burst, but since then he's fighting through the fatigue. Didn't quite go the distance on the elevation of Nemesio Diaz on Wednesday, but good 80 minutes. As long as he's out there, he can be lethal, particularly against Copa Tejas opposition. So Uragide fighting for the ball near the halfway line, and now Kamungo comes away with it, and he sprints forward through defenders now towards the top of the box. Slip ball into Petter Musa, onto his left foot, saved by Stuver. Down low with the feet, Stuver spares the blushes of the Austin back line there as Kamungo carved them apart. Now it's Kappas, left center channel to Musa just outside the area. Musa skipping through defenders and challenges, eventually a sliding tackle. Able to dispossess him, but Abubakar stepping into midfield wins it back. Here's Moreno, shot from distance, deflection, and this one's going to spin behind for a corner as Dallas spring to life in stoppage time.
I'll tell you what, Bernie Kamungo, I said he's been a mixed bag, but he got it all right there as he just turns on the jets, slips right in between two purple shirts, and then puts the ball in a really good place for Petter Musa. Musa took a touch and then had Brad Stuver really having to stretch to make a nice save there.
Corner comes here from the near side as we're 1 minute into 3 added on. Both Valiente and Moreno stand over it. It's left here for Moreno. Scoop towards the back post. Abubakar scores! Right on the stroke of halftime. A dagger from Lawless in his return to the 11 tonight.
Well, you know, a while ago you referenced how Dallas had a lot of attacking set-piece threats, and at the time I'm thinking, you know, Lawless Abubakar, back when he played a little bit more, he really knew how to find the end of those really good set-piece deliveries, and he found the end of that one, and I talked about how you knew he really wanted to make a big contribution tonight. Well, how about that for a contribution?
Santi serving it up to the back post, and Abubakar through some traffic, leaps highest, and bounces towards the corner flag on the far side in celebration. He'll have to break down what the celebration meant in the week, but it certainly meant something to the Dallas fans who have made their way down I-35 tonight, tucked in the top corner, down to our left. They've got something to celebrate here on the stroke of halftime.
Now, Santi Moreno's set pieces have been a little bit hit or miss, but he got that one right, put it in with good pace, toward the back post. I mean, Lalas Abubakar not challenged as he goes up, and it's not a great distance because he's sort of backing up at about 8 yards, but he found a way to put a lot of power on that one and put it right past Stuver.
Stuver is going to hammer this one long. As stoppage time winds down, Johansson with the header back towards halfway. Ebiaga hooks it forward. Ramiro wrestled down by Ilie. Two wily veterans there going at it, and Ramiro, I think, came away with the Dark Arts Award on that occasion.
Oh, I don't know. I think Ilie was pretty good about the way he wrapped him up and kind of made it look like it wasn't much.
That's why it was two wily veterans going at it.
You're right.
Referee had to be on alert. Spiros chased deep into the corner here on the near side up against Valiente. His clearance up the sideline is going to be recovered by Johansson. We're at the referee's discretion now, over 3 minutes into stoppage time. Uragide cleared out by Ramirez. Or Ozuni, sorry.
Yep.
It'll be a free kick for Dallas just outside the center circle. You think they'll probably take the opportunity just to keep possession and get into the break ahead.
I remember that corner kick was created by that really good thrust along the left side by Bernie Kamungo.
Yeah, Dallas in no hurry to take this restart, although Ebiaga and Abubakar do make their way forward. Maybe one last roll the dice here. Ahead to Musa. Musa looking to turn from the top of the box. Left the ball behind. And Austin comes away with it. Play on here. Now 4 minutes into the three added on. It's lifted over the top towards Ozuni. Sirwal from the top of the box nods it away. Breaks for Ramirez, who's then dispossessed by Kappas. And the referee puts the whistle to his lips and ends the first half of action. And it's a well-deserved first half advantage for Dallas on the road here in Austin. It didn't take their chances early, but Lalas Abubakar snatches the goal late in stoppage time.
Yeah, I mean, I thought for most of the half, Dallas was easily the better team. It really changes the conversation. Now that late goal changes the conversation of how they will approach things at halftime.
Well, we'll talk through those potential halftime adjustments as Dallas takes the lead into the break at Q2 Stadium. You're listening to FC Dallas Soccer, presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
You push your body hard in the name of fitness. Sure, it's for a good cause. But a good cause shouldn't mean sacrificing a good time. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey campers, it's Jan from Toyota. This summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota, and the fun starts now! We're kicking things off by kicking up mud. Jump in, campers. We're going off-roading in a 4Runner. Next, we're heading to the hot springs in a RAV4. And finally, park your Tundras and Tacomas around the campfire because we're roasting marshmallows. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
After just over 45 minutes here at Q2 Stadium, it's FC Dallas 1, Austin FC 0 as Dallas grabs the lead right on the stroke of halftime. Hello, everybody. It is the FC Dallas Halftime Show brought to you tonight by your local Toyota dealer, Toyota. Let's go places. Also brought to you this evening by Advocare, building champions together. I'm your host, Sam Hale. I'll be joined in just a moment by the voices of this one, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis. No highlights just yet. That's because Lalas Abubakar saved the best for almost last in the half, as in the 45th plus second minute, off a set piece, he heads one home past Brad Stuver, almost at the draw of the halftime whistle. That gave Dallas the advantage going to the locker room 1-0 here from Q2 Stadium in Austin. Let's go ahead and get you tonight's statistics at halftime, and those are brought to you by UMB Bank. The Verde and Black have the possession 62-38, but Dallas 9 shots, 3 of those on target. Austin tonight only 1 shot, none of those so far on target. 3 corners for Dallas, none for the home side. Austin You had 2 saves tonight from Brad Stuver, no official saves from Jonathan Sirois. 8 fouls, 1 yellow card. That yellow card goes to Ramiro. 5 fouls and 1 yellow card for Austin. That went to Djordjevic in the 35th minute. Now we bring in the voices of this one, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis. And Ryan, we probably need to start with what ended that first half, a spectacular set-piece goal all around cued by Lawless Abubakar bouncing it off his head.
Yeah, it's funny that Dallas have scored 2 corner kick goals this season, and Lawless Abubakar was in the game for both. He didn't score the first one. That was Nolan Norris's goal at Seattle, but I think teams have to really account for him in there because of his ability to rise highest, and he showed it there. Just a terrific header. They didn't get a body around, and that's credit to this Dallas team because there's so many targets to aim at. You know, Musa draws attention, Johansson draws attention, Uragide has a couple of goals on the season, Ibiaga has been good from corners throughout his tenure in Dallas, and Abubakar is probably the best option in there, but maybe he can just go missing a little bit because they didn't necessarily account for him being in the 11 today. He's hard to miss, obviously, with the hair, but he rose highest there. Great header, just plants it in the back of the net with power, didn't give Stuver a chance. And good service from Santi Moreno, who I'm sure Steve is going to talk a little bit more about because he was excellent in that first half as well.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get to Moreno. I think the other thing that Abubakar did, you know, sometimes guys that are good on these attacking set pieces, they just have a little feel for where the ball is going to come or they recognize a little bit quicker than everybody else once it comes off the server's foot where it's going to land. I think that's what he did as everybody's packed in the 6, and he just sort of takes a step back and he ends up having an uncontested header. And again, it's not easy as he's backing up because he's really closer to the left post, and he just puts it back across the face of the goal. Brad Stuver never even moves. I mean, it's a heck of a header. It's a heck of a goal, and good for him.
And I would say, Steve, it's a well-deserved 1-0 result because, as we mentioned, 9 shots for the Dallas in the half, 3 of those on target, finishing off with the Lawless goal that ends up. And Dallas, you know, for most of the first half, has had the better final third product, and that's largely been cued by Santi Moreno.
Yeah, for sure. Look, if let's turn the tables. If we're at home right now and we're talking about FC Dallas sitting there with 1 shot, no shots on target against their rivals, I don't think we would be very happy with that. So I really think that Dallas has played a good game. I think it's mostly in the midfield where Kappas and Ramiro have just been very good against a sort of makeshift Austin midfield, and Ilya Sanchez, as Ryan noted a while ago, is holding the ball a lot, but he's holding it in spots that Dallas will just give it to him. And now, by the way, they'll just let him sit there with it if he wants to be, 80 yards away from FCD goal. So I think it's been a pretty good day at the office so far for Dallas. They had about 5 minutes where they did let Austin where they got a little leaky on defense. They did let Austin find a little bit of room. Otherwise, really good first half for FC Dallas.
And I think it's fair to say, Ryan, one of the big things that this helps for Dallas is they've got the first goal, as we noted in pregame. 7 wins, 1 loss, 3 draw when Dallas scores first, like they have tonight. But it's going to help for, A, just giving them confidence, especially going into the half. But B, we saw some tired legs out there at the front, specifically guys like Pedro Musa and even someone like Joaquin Valiente, Bernie Camungo, and the like. This gives Eric Quill a lot more flexibility when it comes to how he can use his lineup.
Yeah, and I think when you look at some of the bench options, they actually suit this game state of being in front because you could bring in a Sam Sarver or a Logan Farrington and hit on the counter when the opportunity arises. So if you invite some of that pressure from Austin and they have that possession, but they have it a little bit closer to the Dallas goal, that just means more space to run in behind for some potential fresh legs coming off the bench in the second half.
And I think, Steve, when you think about that, you also think about Ramiro, who picked up a yellow card in that first half. We also saw Osaze Uragide get into some scuffles, which is nothing new for Osaze, but he is 1 yellow card away from suspension, and with 2 more games coming up in the next week or so, that's not a guy you want to have to miss out on due to the fact that he can't be available.
You're not suggesting they might take Osaze Uragide out, are you?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a thing to consider. I'm not saying take him out.
I wouldn't consider it for a second. I mean, I think the back line is missing some players tonight. Nolan Norris, of course. Shaq Moore, we might see him in there. Maybe that's a change you make, but look, man, I mean, he's going to get that yellow card at some point.
I was going to say, it's almost enforced rest, the same way Nolan is missing out tonight.
Yeah.
You'd rather him be in there, but he did need a game off.
That's exactly right. If he gets it, I don't care. Right now they're in a spot where they have a lead, the ability to pick up 3 points on the road if they can hold the lead. So I wouldn't think about that for a second.
Well, and it's going to be interesting here as well because now that you've got the lead, Steve, it's kind of imperative to, what did our old friend Nico Estevez always say? How's the best way to defend a 1-goal lead? Go get that next goal, and you've got to figure as we look at like the second half subs here, that's probably going to be what Eric Quill's looking for, especially with his offense performing so well in the first half.
He's looking at both for sure, because right now what they're doing defensively is working against, again, an Austin team that might be able to bring in, Facu Torres or, a couple of more weapons, but right now the defense just looks so good, and at some point he's got to consider also that he's got a lot of tired legs out there. You're talking about going for goal, but Santi Marino probably won't be able to give him much more than 15. Petr Musa looks exhausted, so I think it's really more about looking at the game and managing what's in front of him right now, because at some point he might have judged that, yeah, you'd love to have 2 goals, but they've got a lead, and it's really more about managing the players physically out there on such a hot night when they've had so many games and put so many miles on the car, so to speak.
And especially since you've got RSL on Wednesday, and that's a game at elevation. And then, oh, by the way, you got to go play Vancouver next Saturday, and that's no easy task, regardless of your rest status. One thing I want to note here, Jonathan Surwa by the MLS Stat Pack does not have a save, but Ryan, I feel like that dissuades him from that wonderful save he made in the first half there, where Austin kind of got a bit of a jailbreak there, and he had to basically go full bodyguard to keep that ball out of the net. That was one of those moments where, obviously he's made the common save since he got the job, but that was one of those where that's one you needed from your starting keeper.
Not only that, and I'm sure that he'll get that save in the end because it was a shot on target that he smothered at the near post. He's been really good at judging the ball out off his line, and that's allowed Dallas to play a higher line. They've got Uriguide as that sweeper, in the middle of the 3, and they trust the recovery speed of Abubakar and Ibiaga, but it's all, hinges on the ability for Surwa to judge the ball well coming off his line. He had a couple of headers, and he's just been quick and making good decisions in that way as well. So even outside of the save, which was a very important one, it could have been a real sucker punch for Austin after they hadn't had much leading up to that. But he's been good all around, I think, tonight.
Well, the key to that, though, is the confidence, because you're right about him judging those balls and getting out quick, and one got really close, but he got there. But, a half second and quarter second hesitation, and he doesn't get there. So the confidence to see the ball immediately and know I can go get that ball, but I got to get there and launch himself off the line. I mean, there's several good performances out there so far for Dallas. He's just one of them.
Well, it is 1-0 Dallas here as we are at Q2 Stadium. It's halftime. The green lights have drawn down on the Q2 field, and while the crowd is not as verde and black as it normally is, mainly because there's a lot of violet out there, it is still going to be a raucous environment as Dallas looks to hold on to a 1-0 lead as they start the second half of action. We will take a break, and when we come back, Ryan and Steve will get you ready for the second half here from Austin. It's FC Dallas 1, Austin FC 0. You're listening to FC Dallas Soccer, presented by Toyota on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And a spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
It's a moment when I show up, God, I'm saying wow.
Welcome to the world of WinStar, the casino of FC Dallas, where 10,000 electronic games, plus roulette, craps, and blackjack is just the beginning. Get lost in our 2-story luxury spa, rest in one of our vast hotel towers, and catch the biggest names in music and comedy at the spectacular Lucas Oil Live, all just 1 hour north of DFW. So come live in the wow at the world of WinStar.
Want to hear something incredible?
The treatments are over, the infusions are done. Now you can get back to all the kid fun. We'll miss you lots, but you'll be happy to know chemo is over, so it's time to go.
At Children's Health, we're making groundbreaking advancements in cancer treatments every day to bring more healing and more hope to families. Innovative treatments filled with hope. That's incredible together. Learn more at childrens.com.
Hey campers, it's Jan from Toyota. This summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota, and the fun starts now! We're kicking things off by kicking up mud. Jump in, campers. We're going off-roading in a 4Runner. Next, we're heading to the hot springs in a RAV4. And finally, park your Tundras and Tacomas around the campfire because we're roasting marshmallows. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
We welcome you back to Q2 Stadium as Dallas makes their way out of the tunnel. Austin in their purple uniforms tonight, already huddled to the left of the halfway line with 2 subs ready to enter this game and get some fresh legs into the attack for the hosts. And Steve, one of them, the designated player, Facu Torres, previously in MLS with Orlando City, where he had 37 goals and 21 assists from 2022 to 2024, but it hasn't really clicked for him in his time in Austin. Of course, this attack has been misfiring all season long. It's not necessarily just his fault, but they did expect more from him than what they've gotten so far.
Yeah, for sure, but look, a lot of things haven't gone real well around Q2 Stadium recently. We sort of hope it continues that way tonight. So anybody in the attack is going to suffer a little bit when you can't move the ball, back to front, and also they're sort of a transition team now, and I'm not sure that's Facu Torres' best game, so I think that has something to do with it.
Well, their other entrant into the second half is Przemysław Placheta, the new Polish signing, another winger. So a couple of wide attackers coming into this game for Austin. We haven't seen the board go up to see who's coming off as the light show is on at Q2 Stadium, but it was the set piece excellence from FC Dallas on the stroke of halftime to give them the lead. Lawless Abubakar, and just his second start of the season on the score sheet. As we get a look at the substitutes board, and it's Ilie Sanchez coming off, as well as Joseph Rosales. So some experienced players coming off the field, but some attacking threats coming in as well, and maybe a change of shape as well as they take a central midfielder out and bring an attacking player into the game.
Well, the midfield wasn't working. Kappas and Ramiro, 2 of the players, had good halves. Kappas 3 of 5 on his duels, 19 of 21 on his passing. Santi Marino, 35 touches. He was 23 of 25. I thought he was really good at helping take the ball off of one of those players and moving it into the forward line. And that's that sort of imbalance in midfield, the visitors just being better in there, is one of the reasons Dallas has a 9-1 shot advantage.
Zuni stands in the spotlight in the center circle, ready to restart play. Austin will move from left to right in this second half from our vantage point as we describe the action for you from Q2 Stadium. Dallas will move from right to left with the 1-goal lead from the first half of action. We await the whistle from the referee, Rami Touchon.
And we'll see if Dallas keeps attacking that Austin's defensive right side through Bernie Kamungo. Bernie Kamungo really good in the first half. His final ball, his delivery, and his shooting, he had the one breakaway. Not great, but he's been very active and he's been finding good spots over there.
And maybe the change is a response to that, because both Torres and Placheta setting up on this near side for Austin as we are back underway for the second half from Q2 Stadium. It's dropped off to Brad Stuver, who will now hit it long up towards the Austin front line. Heads go up and it's flicked into the area where Sirwa will come and make the claim. Uragide stays down. He went up to challenge for that initial ball. Slow to get back to his feet. Sirwa rolls it out for Lawless Abubakar, who didn't misplace a pass in the first half. He's got it here under pressure. Rolled out to this near side for Kamungo. First time ball into the middle for Kappas, who will lift it long and out of play on this near sideline up towards the halfway line. Placheta taking liberties with the positioning of that throw-in. Eventually, Santi Moreno got a piece of the ball. Djordjevic lifts it forward. It's a flicked header by Azuni that's going to bounce kindly through for Sirwa as he beat Ibiaga in the air there, but Dallas not punished. Sirwa will wave everybody up the field, getting the countdown from the referee before he now punts it long up towards Musa. Header won by Biro, back towards the Dallas back line where Uragide nods it forward again towards the Moose. Flicked header finds Moreno. Set wide for Valiente as Kamungo streaks through the middle. Lifted ball in towards Bernie Kamungo over his head. He'll track it down here wide to the 18-yard box with the defender on his back. Moving backwards up the sideline. We'll recycle it here along the back three.
Bernie Kamungo had advanced position there on Placheta and just didn't get to cross in the right place from the right side.
There's a classic Bernie Kamungo run. You see those a couple of times a season from him where he just sprints in behind everybody. And if the service is right, we've seen him score. We've seen him draw red cards, situations like that as well. Free kick for Dallas, won by Bernie Kamungo at the halfway line. It's going to be played backwards, moved into the middle of their own half with Urquide. Pass out towards this near side, off the mark, looking for Ramiro, and it's intercepted by Plaheta. Set wide for Torres. Nice slip ball to the byline for Plaheta. His cross is blocked out for a corner by Urquide on the recovery.
Urquide, Plaheta really found a good spot down the right center channel there. Dallas getting opened up a little bit, but there's Urquide hustling over, doing what he does, using those long legs to get in position and knock that out.
I believe this is the first corner of the game for Austin. And it'll be Facu Torres from the near flag. Whipped in towards the top of the 6, headed away by Musa to the top of the box. Sabovic with a volley up and over the bar. It'll be a goal kick when we resume. Dallas holding a pretty hefty advantage in the all-time series between these two clubs. 8 wins, 3 draws, and 2 wins for Austin.
Yeah, I assume that doesn't include probably the biggest game they played, the playoff match.
Yeah, we maybe omitted that one. Intentionally or not. It was a regular season stat that I gave. But 2-2-2 all-time at this venue, plus that one playoff matchup as well. Here's Kappas darting through the middle and into the attacking third. Slip ball finds Moreno inside the area. Santi Moreno just out of his reach. A sliding tackle from Djordjevic. Comes back off of the Colombian. It'll be a goal kick.
And back behind the play, Kappas complaining that he got fouled, and I think he's got a claim there. And we know he's a pretty honest player that way. We'll be able to get a look at it here in just a second.
A draw here in 2025, 1-1, exactly a year to the day. Our last win came with a Jesus Ferreira stoppage time winner in 2023, a 1-0 success. Flicked out to this near side, early cross sent in by Ramirez. And it's flicked up in the air, still not cleared as Ramiro comes across and concedes a corner. Taking that one away from Plaheta.
It looks to me like Austin has decided if Dallas is going to attack that side, we're going to attack the same side and try to catch Bernie Kamungo not getting back quickly enough, and started to work a little bit for Austin. Dallas might need an adjustment here.
Torres readies the corner from the near flag once again. That's Facu Torres. Irvin Torres still in the game for Austin. Whipped in by the Uruguayan, headed away again by Musa, back out towards Facu Torres. Takes it down on the chest, wide on this near side, but a loose touch. Runs it over the line for a Dallas throw.
Yeah, you wondered if maybe that change was, to try to contain Bernie Kamungo. I think it's the opposite. I think they're saying, let's attack Lalas Abubakar and Bernie Kamungo over there. Make them defend a little bit more.
Here's Kamungo making his way up the near sideline. Ball breaks back his way, and now he skips past the sliding tackle, and he drives forward right at the Austin back line. 2 to his right as Kamungo approaches the top of the box. Slipped over towards Valiente. Left for Johansson. Right-footed shot is right at Stuver. More great work from Bernie Kamungo, and there's a player down for Austin. It's Svatak.
Svatak, I didn't see what happened to him in there, but seems to be some concern there from the Austin players.
He's now getting slowly back to his feet. The training staff has already come on. Immediately, the Austin players waving them on. And that will mean if he isn't replaced, then he'll have to wait off the field for a minute with the on-field treatment rule.
It was a nice little dummy there from Valiente. Maybe even took a little touch, leaving that ball for the arriving Herman Johansson. Put the side of his foot through it at about 16 yards and just unfortunately hit it right at Brad Stuver.
Still waiting for that first goal. Dallas colors.
He's been really solid, but I just don't. He just doesn't have much of that nose for the goal,
There was a moment right before the start of the second half. Interesting to point out that when Austin had those changes up and ready to come into the game, Eric Quill actually went out onto the field and spoke with Abubakar, spoke with Bernie Kamungo, just probably giving them a little bit more information about the guys coming into the game. And that is where the game hinges at the moment. This battle along the near sideline as Svatak has come off. It looks like they're checking his left wrist or hand. Maybe got stepped on or jammed a finger. Either way, Austin will be momentarily down to 10. It's ball with Brad Stuver. Picks it up. And he'll take as long as he can to allow Svatak to get the treatment and come back into this game. Booming punt down the field for Stuver. Ebiaga wins the header. Dallas fighting for the second ball. Valiente moves it along the back line. Abubakar out to this near side. Overhits the pass looking for Kamungo. Runs out for a throw.
And Valiente's been busy tonight, hasn't he?
Both Santimoreno and Valiente showing some of that form they picked up over the Leagues Cup run. As Djordjevic again taking his time on the throw-in. Svatak still waits off the field. Now Djordjevic goes down. Moreno just leaning on him there, giving away a free kick wide on this near side. Now the Ukrainian center back into the game for Austin. He'll head straight up for the front line. Facu Torres stands over this free kick wide on the near sideline. Taken quickly, Torres rolls it into the middle for Irvin Torres, and they'll switch the point of attack. Gallagher forward out to the left side for Biro. Plaheta, left center channel, digs out a left-footed ball in. Ebiaga header up, not too far clear. It's going to be brought down by Ozuni. Rolls it back out to this near side for Facu Torres. It's a left-footed ball bending towards the top of the box. Heads go up there. Bubakar's clearance is going to be blocked out for a Dallas throw on the far sideline.
I mean, if Austin's just going to start, pushing balls sort of willy-nilly into the penalty area, Dallas has got the right players in there to deal with that. Ebiaga's good. Zazi Regide is commanding. Bubakar's good in the air. They've got big guy over on the right, and Herman Johansson.
Second half shaping up very differently with Ilie Sanchez coming off for Austin. Really, he was sort of the handbrake, kept them at a slower pace in the first half. They're definitely looking to push the tempo in the second.
Yeah, I think they're okay with that until Dallas scores the goal just before the break.
Djordjevic moving backwards in his own half. Now rolled up to the halfway line. Torres closed down by Kamungo. Pokes it out for a throw. Some more front-footed defending there for Bernie. Svatak going to lift this one forward. And they're trying to use the speed of Plaheta. Uragide flicks it in behind, and there's the pole running in behind. But it's saved by Sirois, diving down to his right. Not much power in the shot, but clearly some pace off the bench for the Polish winger.
Dallas, I think, might have to think about something here to start containing that, because he's showing his quality and his energy.
Ball forward up the far sideline, intercepted, and Austin will have it wide with Ozuni moving backwards and returns it to the halfway line. Strong first 10 minutes for Austin here coming out of the break, still trailing that loss of Bubakar goal. First half stoppage time. Djordjevic near side of the halfway line will move it back into the middle. Svatak now chips it over the top once again, and it's Bernie Kamungo in retreat as Plaheja rolls it into the middle. Irvin Torres keeps it moving out to the far side for Gallagher. Up against Herman Johansson in the wide areas. Left-footed ball sent in, headed away by Uragide to the top of the box. It's Irvin Torres who twinkle toes through defenders and rifles it into the top corner. The biggest moment so far for the youngster for Austin. That was some great work there. And they capitalize on a strong start to the second half.
Oh, that's a really well hit ball by Torres. Maybe Dallas would have liked to have gotten out to him a little bit quicker, because as the cross comes in, it's headed away by Asazi Regide, but Torres picks it up. Ramiro's pretty quick to close him down, but as he dances by Ramiro, nobody else closes down Torres. So right at about 19 yards, he just fires one past Brad Stuver. You know, I was just about to say Dallas has two problems to solve right now, which is that Austin has brought some different players in, and they're a little bit more interested in attacking quickly. So they've got that problem to solve, but they've also got to figure out, you know, who's still got some legs left.
Drop back to Sirois, the restart play. Hammered out to the right side where Austin repels it back into the Dallas end. It's chested down in the middle by Santa Moreno, who's dispossessed, and now Austin look to go quickly. Out to the left side. Slip ball to Gallagher to the byline, and it's defended by Johansson out for another corner, and the pressure continues.
I'll tell you what, Gallagher launched his run at the midfield stripe, and Herman Johansson did brilliantly just to keep up with him the whole way. And as Gallagher tried to hook a left-footed cross in there right at the byline, Johansson was right on him.
Corner coming from the far flag. Facu Torres again, looking for an outswinger this time. Whipped into the back post over everybody's head. Moreno brings it down and hooks it clear. Nobody forward for Dallas. Turns possession to Austin near the halfway line. All the way back to Stuver. Dallas steps the line up. No changes so far for Dallas to counter the two made at the break for Davy Arnaud and Austin that have now paid dividends, the equalizing goal. Svatak, middle of his own half, moving to his left. Plays it wide for Biro. Now brings it back into the middle for Irvin Torres, who's got to be feeling on top of the world right now. But he got a little too confident there with the pass forward, intercepted by Kamungo, but it's picked off of Bernie's toes by Plaheta. Now they drive forward on this near side. Uzuni is fouled, and the yellow card is out of the pocket for Bernie Kamungo.
I mean, Eric Will's got to do something here. He's got to make a change. It's pretty obvious that Austin has decided we can't break down the low block. We can't connect our midfield or attacking line, so we're not going to try. We're just going to go long into Plaheta, and we're going to make Bernie Kamungo defend, and it's hurting Dallas right now. And now Bernie Kamungo's got the yellow card.
And Austin tried to go quickly out to Plaheta on this near side, but the referee's going to bring it back as he was still writing down Bernie Kamungo's name on the yellow card. Plaheta's spent most of his career in the second and third division in England. Came across a 7-time Poland international. Still getting used to his new surroundings here in Central Texas. They move it along the ground out to the left side, and once again, opting not to send it into the area. Gallagher from a deep position now, lifts it towards the top of the box, flicked on by Irvin Torres. Here's Ramirez inside the area, blocked by Kappas, but Ramirez was offside. Irvin Torres, what a player Austin has on their hands here. He's just the deputy for Owen Wolf, who's out tonight, but the 18-year-old putting on a dazzling display in this second half. And asking to play in a little bit of a different role in the midfield pivot with Elie coming out, and he's taken that in stride as well. Sirois launches the restart long. Ramiro able to flick it along towards the front line. Couldn't find anyone in particular, and then Ramiro is penalized, going for the second ball there. Another player playing on a yellow card. Austin work it quickly out to their left side. Ozuni moving infield on the dribble, lifts it towards the near side. Kamungo's flicked header is headed for the sideline. Will be kept in play by Plaheta. Facu Torres, right center channel, keeps it moving along through the middle. Now out to that far side for Gallagher. Biro goes on the overlap. Gallagher moving infield, set back for Irvin Torres. Dallas, everybody back defensively at the moment. From the halfway line, Fatak lifts it out towards the near side. Kamungo brings it down, combining with Abubakar, who rolls it back to Sirois, and he'll launch it long up towards Musa. Musa, perfect first touchdown for Valiente. Dallas win possession at just around the center circle. Quickly to Kappas, and now wide for Moreno on this near side. Into the final third, Santa Moreno darting infield on the dribble. Finds Musa in the middle. Musa scooped forward. It's Valiente fighting forward inside the D, eventually got on the wrong side of the defender and commits the foul. And Austin wanted to take it quickly, and Valiente picks up a yellow card for blocking the restart.
I mean, I think Dallas is just absolutely exhausted right now. A really good first half, but it's taken its toll, and that was just a silly yellow card for Valiente to take. Now they got 3 guys in the midfield on yellow cards.
And Austin now turning to their bench again, another double substitution. Zan Kolmanich and Brandon Vasquez are coming into this game.
Well, I mean, this is 4 sets of fresh legs now for Austin, and meanwhile I'm looking at a bunch of Dallas subs just standing down there, hoping they might be able to get in and help turn the tide here, because this game has completely shifted.
Restart play with Austin possession. Brad Stuver inside the 18-yard box. Now stepping the line up as Stuver launches it long out towards the far side, and Johansson will watch that one fly out for a throw.
And the only thing I can think here is that Sam Hale talked at halftime. Well, I'll let you take this here.
And it's Moreno just outside the center circle, back into the Dallas half. Urquide has it, surveying his options, combining now with Ramiro, moves it wide to Johansson. First time ball into the middle for Valiente, who's moving backwards and coughs that one up over the line for a throw.
I wonder if Eric Will's just sticking with the starters longer here, because as Sam Hale said, they've got 2 tough road games coming up, but maybe he thinks this is the one where they have the best chance to pick up 3 points.
Austin in possession. Now into the Dallas half with Plaheta. Halftime sub has made a real difference here, and he sprints in behind along this near side once again, but Sirois comes to claim.
And that time Bertie Kamungo just didn't go with Plaheta.
And Plaheta out of position. Dallas will try and work this near side. It's back to Abubakar under pressure from 2. Plays it back for Sirois. Quickly out the other way to Ebiaga, who will hit it up towards the front line, but it's just not a game for Musa to be running the channels right now based on the energy levels. It does run out for a Dallas throw.
Now Dallas has just completely lost its midfield right now.
Johansson back to Ibiaga and wide with Valiente. Valiente, nice drop of the shoulder. And now he hits a switching ball looking for Kamungo on this near side. Foot race with Plaheta as the inside line. And he'll get it back to Stuver. Stuver plays it out to the far side. Biro combining with Kolmanich, recent sub. Playing on the Austin left. And they work through the pressure well. Here's Azuni in the center circle. Out to Facu Torres, right center channel, the Austin attack. Slip ball in behind for Azuni. 2 waiting at the back post. Azuni fires it through the 18. And it's behind the 2 runners. Dallas live to fight another day there. Got possession with Johansson up to Musa, who's dispossessed. And it breaks kindly for Kolmanich and Austin. Wide to the 18. Left-footed low cross deflected by Ibiaga, behind for a corner.
FCD just completely at 6s and 7s right now.
Another corner coming from the far flag for Facu Torres. We're well over the hour mark now. Game we thought would be won by the squad depth, potentially for either side, and so far it's been Eric Will sticking with the starting 11. Under pressure here as Torres readies the corner. Whipped in towards the near post. They got a touch and heads out the other way, but there was a free kick given Dallas's way. Something going on inside the area.
You know, they do have really short rest. I mean, this isn't a Saturday game, it's a Sunday game. They got a Wednesday match coming up. They got travel twice actually. So maybe the thinking here is just, maybe he's told the starters, look, you're just going to have to take it for a while, and they're going to make Wednesday the rotation game.
Sirois readies the restart.
Just got another quick look at a Torres rocket. I mean, he hit that one a ton.
Vasquez is going to be called for a foul there, barreling over Ostaze Uragide. Brandon Vasquez making his way back from a long-term injury. 7 games this season, 3 from the start. Yet to find the score sheet. Ramiro will have the free kick for Dallas, just shy of the halfway line. Played forward for Santi Moreno. First time into the middle for Musa, who's tripped up. And Svatak picks up a yellow card. Musa tried to take that one on the turn. Dallas have a free kick about 20 yards into the Austin half. Musa still down. As Logan Farrington's been called across. Looks like he'll be the first of the Dallas changes.
And you wonder if it'll just be like for Petro Musa, because, as you said, he was looking pretty weary in the first half, and he's been on the ground a couple of times now.
Well, in that case, this may be his last chance to continue a streak of 5 straight games against Austin with a goal or an assist.
Oh boy, I mean, Svatak really got him right on the back of the Achilles there.
And Musa taking the sock off to show the referee the marks left by the challenge there. No further punishment as Moreno floats the free kick to the back post to Boubacar, trying to nod it back into the middle. And he got the first contact, but ends up behind for a goal kick. Uragide ended up way off the field. I didn't spot what happened there.
No. Judging by Rami Tushan, the man in the middle, talking to Sabovic, probably a little too much off the ball action there.
Svatak will take the goal kick short into Stuver. Plays it forward for Irvin Torres, goal scorer for Austin, makes his way up towards the halfway line. Now brought into the attacking half and put in behind for a really nice run there from Plaheta, but it is marshaled by Ibiaga, who plays it out for a throw, and the offside flag was up in the end. And that'll give Dallas a chance to make this change.
Some frustration showing from FC Dallas players now, sort of starting to bark at one another.
And it won't be Musa coming off. It'll be Santi Moreno, replaced by Logan Farrington here. 20 minutes to go. This is right about the time he came into that game against Chivas and won it for Dallas. The great goal off the bench. Looking for a similar impact here. That's the first change for Dallas on the night. Gives them another target to aim at from situations like this. A long free kick readied by Sirois. Lifted up towards Musa. Bounces over his head. And it's hammered clear by Austin. High into the night sky. Bounces 20 yards into the Dallas half. Uragide wins the header. Now Kamungo puts it in behind. Farrington trying to make his way around Djordjevic. And Stuver comes out. Eventually Farrington goes down, and it's an absolute car crash there, because Stuver was coming out. He made contact with Farrington, and Djordjevic ended up tangled up on the ground as well.
Djordjevic, as he's running there, had absolutely no designs on getting the ball. All he's doing is obstructing Logan Farrington.
It's about as basic of a foul call as you'll see missed all weekend long. Brad Stuver in possession from the top of the box, rolling it out to this near side. Djordjevic pass towards the front line. Nobody really making the run there to match the pass. It turns over. Kappas quickly into the middle for Ramiro. Dispossessed from behind by some good defensive work for Brandon Vasquez. And Ramiro will try and lead the charge there to put pressure on. Stuver easily playing out to this near side, and it's lifted in behind. Plaheta receives it, closed down by Kamungo, moves it backwards for Facu Torres, just into the Dallas half.
Bernie Kamungo just having all kinds of difficulty dealing with Huerta over there.
Irvin Torres out to the Austin left. He gets it back and scoops it up towards the front line. Uriguide's header goes straight up in the air. Ibiaga with a bouncing ball wide of the Dallas 18 will launch it forward. Another aerial duel there that Svatak wins, but he nods it out of play. Dallas throw near the halfway line.
I think Svatak's been pretty good against Petr Musa tonight. He's probably only dealing with an 80 or 85% Musa, though.
And taken into Farrington. First touch finds Musa, set into the middle for Valiente, driving forward into the attacking third, options either side. Valiente over to Musa, inside the area, onto his left foot. Petr Musa off the post and in! And he sprints to go celebrate with the Dallas fans in the corner. Petr Musa punishing in a Copa Tejas matchup, as he always does.
A lot of credit there goes to Valiente, who drives through the middle, and he just holds the ball. He's waiting for help. I thought he's waiting on the other side for Bernie Kumungo, who's arriving quickly, but he's just waiting, and he finally makes the right choice. Gives the ball over to Petr Musa. He's given it a little bit too much room. Takes a touch on his right foot inside, and then just rifles the ball. Left foot off the post. Perfect placement. Petr Musa.
Back into the Golden Boot lead. Back into the lead on the night here at Q2 Stadium. 6 games against Austin FC on the score sheet or assisting a goal every single time.
14th league goal, 15th goal overall this year.
And that is why you leave him in the game as long as his legs can support him. Perfect finish just inside 18 yards. Stuver only watched it with the rest of us as it clanged off the woodwork and into the back of the net.
Yeah, they're going to rue not closing him down just a little bit quicker. I mean, he's able to set that ball up, prep touch with his right foot, bring it back over to his left foot. Not really his better shooting foot, but he hit it perfectly.
And Dallas were going to get their second substitute into the game. It's going to be Ka'ike. It's going to come after the water break. Dallas with the goal heading into the hydration break. Good timing. That changes the team talk substantially on both sides.
Changes, I think, what Eric Quill might want to do now. You know, we've talked about how Bernie Kumungo is having trouble over there dealing with Huerta. Well, now maybe you can bring in Josh Torquato and tell him, yeah, you think about getting up the left side, but no, what you do first is defend over there against Huerta.
I was thinking we might see Shaq Moore come in as well on that left side, but
or on the right. Johansson's got a he's put in a lot of miles too.
Don't actually spot Shaq warming up with the rest of the group.
That's a good point. You're right. He's not down there. Maybe he was brought in just as a break glass in case of emergency player.
Dallas short. Nolan Norris already along the back line. You've got injuries to Anderson Julio, Patrickson Delgado, and Daniel. It's Ka'ike, who we thought was going to miss the game tonight after the birth of his child during the week. Congratulations to him and his wife. But he wasn't going to miss this one. He's ready to come into this game with 15 minutes to go and now a lead to defend. And we'll see who comes off in his stead. Everybody has made their way back out onto the field, so it looks like they'll wait to make the change. A restart with an Austin free kick in their own half. Moved into the middle. Savovic closed down by Musa. Second wind here coming out of the hydration break. Musa leading the press all the way through back to Stuver, who lifts it up to the halfway line. Header won by Ibiaga. Pounded into the middle. Contested there. Austin comes away with it. Facu Torres can't find a way past Kumungo initially, but it bounces back his way. Into the center circle he goes, and now spreading the play out to the Austin left. Kolmanic, left-footed cross, deflected by Ibiaga. up onto the roof of the net. It'll be another corner.
Ibiaga found the right spot there, and he's been really solid tonight, I think.
Zan Kolmanich will take the corner kick from the far flag for Austin. Slovenian addressing this one with the left foot. And the referee blows the whistle as he takes it. We've seen both teams penalized for some hand fighting in the penalty area tonight.
Ryan, for all the pressure Austin's been applying, defending's still been pretty good ahead of Sirois. Just 2 shots on target for the home team.
Back over to Kolmanich to take again. Whipped in towards the penalty spot, headed away by Musa. Bouncing ball contested with Valiente and Ozuni. Austin keep hold of it, moving it over to Torres on this near side. Left-footed ball flighted in towards Vasquez, just out of his reach, and behind for a goal kick.
A good ball from Paco Torres. A minute ago, as Musa cleared that corner kick, I'm thinking, how many times has he done that on set pieces tonight?
Be Ramiro coming off for Kaique. Ramiro hasn't spotted the board going up just yet. Now he does. He'll turn and hand the armband off to Ibiaga. He's got to make his way off quickly. Looks like he'll go off on the opposite side. And Kaique comes into this game to give them some energy in these final 12 minutes plus stoppage time.
I think he'll help him deal with the young legs of Irvin Torres.
So both teams with a rotated starting 11 tonight, getting some regulars in down the stretch. Dallas makes their second change. They've got 1 window to make their 3 remaining. Sirois not happy with the turf there. He sort of skewed that one right out of play. And there is some noticeable wear and tear inside the 6-yard box at both ends of Q2 Stadium.
They've played a bunch of games here lately.
Into the middle for Torres. Abubakar stepping out of the back line to close him down. They work it out to this near side. Plaheta onto his left foot. Curling effort up and over the bar.
Well, you could see what he wanted all along. Just didn't get his foot wrapped around it in the end.
Well, Musa is beside himself, frustrated. I think he's yelling towards Sirois. It's Ibiaga wearing the armband, the mediator right now between those two as Musa turns and heads upfield.
Musa, such a competitive sort. I mean, we've seen time and again this year where he's yelling at one of his teammates and gesturing, and then as soon as his teammates do something that he likes, I mean, he's the first to get over and congratulate him and give him a pat on the head.
This time, Sirois' ball just about finds Johansson, flicked along. Dallas lose possession along the front line. Austin quickly move it into the center circle. Facu Torres with Kaique sprinting across. Moved out to this near side. Plaheta will run it. Kamungo wide to the 18. Darts for the byline. Right footed cross is dug out towards the back post, and Johansson puts it behind for goal kick. Sorry, corner kick. Confused by the referee sprinting over there. Make sure that Ibiaga didn't do any time wasting.
Pull the ball back on the field. Yeah, nice action at the back post there by Herman Johansson. Veteran calm there as he chests the ball over the end line for the corner kick.
Corner kick coming from the far flag. Be an in-swinging service off the right foot. Whipped into the 6-yard box, punched away by Sirois through contact, and Kaique able to get it further clear. It'll be an Austin throw out of bounds on the sideline on this near side.
Nice moment from Sirois there. In traffic, big one-handed punch.
Facu Torres wide on this Austin right. Turn and pass back for Irvin Torres. It's a diagonal off the right foot into the area. Ibiaga, another header one. Up into the air, Valiente brings it down. Now dribbling along the top of the Dallas box, but was secure with the ball there. Kappas, though, is the one to give it away. And now Austin fire the cross to the top of the box. Urquide able to repel it and then come away with the ball as well. Kappas then is brought down from behind by Plaheta. It's got to be a yellow card.
That's something else, man.
No yellow card shown.
I mean, Kappas is about to run through the midfield. Plaheta just grabs him from behind. double change coming up here for Dallas.
First will be Austin Biro replaced by Jaden Nelson, who's really been on the outside looking in, particularly since Arnaud took over on the interim basis. But a chance for the winger who got on the field at the World Cup with Canada briefly. Try and make an impact on the left side for Austin. It's Clay Holstead and Ron Benjamin who are getting ready to enter this game for Dallas, but they'll wait. Zeragide has been booked for taking too long. I felt like he took it very quickly after the whistle was blown. But that means Osaze Arguide will not travel to Salt Lake City on Wednesday. He'll be suspended for yellow card accumulation. That's just a weird decision as it's lifted forward towards Musa. Austin repel it out towards this near side. Kappas probably coming off here in a moment, just emptying the tank, and does well to win it back. Set back for Kaike. Fired forward for Valiente, who's dispossessed. And now Jaden Nelson will sprint forward towards the halfway line. Valiente still plenty of energy there, doing the running to close down. Just outside the center circle, Austin in possession. Irvin Torres out to this near sideline, wide for Facu Torres now. Sprinting infield, Farrington the defender, lifted over the top, looking for Nelson, and again Johansson at the back post concedes the corner, but kept it away there from the Canadian.
I think Johansson quietly having a nice match. And by the way, I share your wonder there at that yellow card on Urguide. It's especially frustrating for Dallas because I honestly felt like there should have been a yellow card showed the other way for Pojeta for pulling down and stopping a counterattack from Kappas.
Corner taken short on the far side for Austin, moved into the middle. Here's Irvin Torres again, over to Jaden Nelson, right center channel. Chipped ball is headed away by Kappas, back out to Nelson. Matched up here with Johansson. Johansson and Nelson scrapping near the flag, and it's last off of Nelson. Great defending there from the big Swede. And a very obvious Dallas throw being booed right now by the fans here at Q2 Stadium.
Should give Dallas a chance to get the two subs in as well, and this will be the final changes, even though they have technically one sub left, but no windows.
Valiente, his race is run, an assist on the go-ahead goal. He'll be replaced by Clay Holstead, and Petter Musa will come off with that go-ahead goal to his name, replaced by Ron Benjamin. 5 minutes plus stoppage time between Dallas and their third win here at Q2 Stadium. And a return to the win column in Major League Soccer.
Valiente maybe hasn't been the creator of chances like some people thought he would be in terms of dynamic, ideas and things like that, but 6th assist this year is pretty good.
Switching the play out to the far side. Holstead shoves Nelson to the ground. Referee allows play to continue here. Chipped ball towards Benjamin on the near side. Left-footed volley skews off his foot, spinning towards the flag on the near side. Austin trying to work it clear now. Plaheta up into the air and into the middle where Holstead nods it forward. It's Kaike at the top of the box trying to bring it down. He couldn't keep hold of it. And now Plaheta will run up this near side. Urguide commits the foul there on Vasquez. He's trying to hold it up. And it's a foul on the Austin side of the halfway line. Not one you mind giving away, although he does have to be careful now with that yellow card. Austin moving it along the back line. Increased sense of urgency now. Jaden Nelson against Johansson on the far side. Holstead helping defensively. The furthest forward attacking players for Dallas, Ron Benjamin and Clay Holstead alongside Logan Farrington. As Nelson's left-footed cross is blocked right back to him. Now he cuts past Holstead, sprinting up the near sideline. Up against two Dallas defenders there. Nelson past Holstead. Nelson up the byline through the 6-yard box. And somehow nobody in purple found a finishing touch. Dallas smuggle it clear. And Holstead hammers it up the field. And there's the tricky feet of Jaden Nelson on full display. He's got it back once again. This time a pass to Ozuni, to the byline on the far side, dribbling into the area onto his right foot. That shot well wide from Ozuni. Tried to wrap the foot around it.
It was Pojeta a while ago on the right side. Now they're having to deal with Jaden Nelson. And we've talked to you and I visited about how he was good in Vancouver. We were surprised they let him go, but he hasn't found a lot of playing time at Austin either. And it seems like that might be might be some attitude issues there. He's making a difference right now.
So the speed that they were able to bring into this game has made a real difference, but so far, that's the precision at the other end to Petter Musa's second half goal. The difference, 2-1 here in the 88th.
Big protest on the Austin sideline there about that penalty box scrum a minute ago.
Contested ball, Vasquez and Erigide. Vasquez goes down, holding his face, and then immediately got back up. For me, if you go down holding your face and you get immediately back up, that should be a straight yellow card for simulation as well. Clearly.
And Touchon did just express his displeasure there at Brandon Vasquez.
Into the 89th minute now. Austin in possession in their defensive half.
I mean, it's so important that Dallas can bring this one over the finish line. Remember, this is very similar to what happened in Portland. Felipe Mora got a goal into stoppage time, and when Dallas had a 2-1 lead, trying to bring that one over the finish line.
Torres lifts it up this near sideline. Abubakar's header right to the foot of Plaheta. Plaheta driving in field onto his left foot into the area at the back post. Ozuni takes it wide. Now he's outside the 18, near the flag on the far side. Plays it backwards to Komanic. Moved into the middle, Irvin Torres. Back wide for Komanic once again. Holstead defending near the flag. Holstead blocks the cross, and it spins out for an Austin throw.
Nice defending on the wing there by Holstead.
Taken quickly into Irvin Torres. And Komanic now with left-footed ball sent in. The header for Austin is up and over the bar. And that was the center back getting forward, Djordjevic, who was the free man. Nobody accounted for him. Into the final minute of the 90 now. Sirois readies the goal kick. Beaten by Irvin Torres in the second half. Petter Musa's strike off the post and in, restoring the Dallas advantage. Sirois slipping again, but Erigide able to flick the goal kick along, get some more distance on it, and it breaks for Benjamin, who was challenging for it with Djordjevic. It goes straight up in the air. Dallas just contesting it without real control. Plaheta and Djordjevic along this near sideline under pressure. But Austin does well to quickly work it out to the opposite side, and Komanic brings it forward towards the halfway line. Ahead to Nelson. Nelson sizes up Johansson, now cuts inside, finds Ozuni. Ozuni 25 yards from goal, rolls it over to his right. Sabovic slaloming run, goes down, and the referee had to think about it before eventually giving the free kick right in shooting range just outside the arc of the D.
Well, I don't know whether you saw it, but I got some bad news for you, Ryan. I don't know where 10 minutes came from, but man,
wow.
He just put that up there. 10 minutes.
Hydration break maybe adds a couple, but not a video review, nothing.
There's injury to Spotog. That's a couple of minutes. But that's a lot. You told me 6 or 7, I would have thought that's about right. Yep. There it is, though. Dallas still has to get it done, no matter what the board shows.
So it sets up for a free kick, basically dead center, a few yards outside the top of the D. Torres and Ozuni sizing it up. 6 players in the Dallas wall for Jonathan Sirois. It's Mirto Ozuni right into the Dallas wall. It's Ibiaga who took that right to the face. He goes down, and the referee spots it and does the right thing there to stop play, because that was a rocket to the dome. Sebastian Ibiaga.
Yeah, it was a 6-man wall, and right before the kick, Logan Farrington peeled off and jumped underneath to become that guy lying down behind the wall.
And Ibiaga is now going through a concussion protocol, so he'll have to come off the field for a minute.
I think he turned his head at the last minute, and it's almost worse because it gets you in the side of the face, and that's a real noggin rattler.
Well, he's able to jog off the field. He'll go through that check, and Dallas will play with 10 for the moment. Into the 93rd minute. Some more time maybe added back on here.
I mean, it's a pretty good free kick. Looking at it again, I mean, Ibiaga on the end of the wall leaps and blocks it, so great moment for him.
Austin restart play. Ibiaga quickly back out there. As Nelson darts towards the byline on the far side. Holstead sliding in, got a piece of the ball. Nelson still going with it, fires it towards the near post, and Sirois covers it up.
I mean, Holstead there, it worked out, but he cannot do that. He lunged out there, and Jaden Nelson goes down. I think Dushan's pointing to the spot.
I thought he got a piece of the ball, but we are a long way away from where the slide took place.
No, I think you're right. I think he did get a little piece of the ball. I still don't want to see him launch that way.
Possession with Austin along the near sideline, just into the Dallas half. Torres moves it back into the middle. Along the back line, Kolmanich plays it ahead to Nelson. The live wire since coming on. This time, Johansson able to step in the way, but it popped up off his arm. And it'll be another free kick for Austin, wide on that far side. How much does Johansson have left in the tank to deal with the threat of Jaden Nelson? It's another free kick for Kolmanich. Dallas sets the line, top of the 18-yard box.
This is what Jaden Nelson does when he comes into matches. He's got a roll of talent.
Whipped in with plenty of air underneath this one, and it runs out for a goal kick. There's a let-off for Dallas. Visibly frustrated Zane Kolmanich, one of the Austin FC originals, along with Brad Stuvert in the 11 tonight.
You know what? Watching Sirois now, maybe this is why Ramesh Dushan added so much time. You got to be clever about it. You know, you can't antagonize referees this way.
Sirois this time another underhit goal kick, and Ozuni got a piece of it, couldn't control it. It's way up into the air. Abubakar nods it out towards the near sideline, kept in play well by Kamungo. And a sliding challenge from Djordjevic puts it out for a Dallas throw. Sirois just struggling, maybe the wrong footwear. Well, the referees just reversed the throw-in decision. I'm really not sure how that's possible. I watched it come off the foot of Djordjevic and run out for a throw, but the home side takes that throw and quickly moves it along the back line as we've played now half of the 10 minutes added on.
To your point, I mean, the Austin players didn't even appeal for the throw-in.
Torres passes back into his own half. Svatak over to the Austin left. Kolmanich flights one into the area. Sirois comes through traffic and makes a nice catch.
Yeah, catches it right at the apex up there.
Punts it up the left center channel for Farrington to give chase. Hooked forward towards the halfway line by Austin. And Ozuni climbing up on the back of Kaike, who's got a free kick for Dallas on the halfway line. And two former teammates in Eric Quill and Davey Arnault from the early days of MLS are absolutely jawing back and forth on the touchline right now. They'll be friends in about 10 minutes, maybe. All competitive right now.
Yeah, Kaike did a really good job there, Ryan, of getting position and drawing that valuable foul.
Now it's Ozuni getting a stern talking to from the referee. As Ibiaga chips it forward out to this near side. Farrington nods it into the area. Benjamin's there on the turn. He's right-footed effort. Skews wide and out for a throw on the far sideline.
Oh, he got a nice feed off the head of Logan Farrington there. And it looked like for a minute he had the ball in a good position just to hammer one toward Brad Stuver, and he got it all wrong, Benjamin did. 6.5 into the 10.
Djordjevic, possession for Austin along the back line. Still 20 yards shy of the halfway line. Everybody in the defensive half for Dallas as they walk it forward into that half. Switching ball from the far side over to the near side. And Torres, heavy touch, showed too much of it to Kamungo. Kamungo trying to get running up the near sideline. And it came off Djordjevic last. The referee gives Austin the throw again.
Bernie Kamungo didn't protest, so maybe he knew.
I think he knew he needed to get
back
in position as soon as possible as Austin build up on the far side. Got the ball in the center circle. It's Fatak over to Djordjevic. Up this near side for Plaheta. Real impact for him off the bench. Looks a left-footed ball into the area, headed away by Ibiaga. Up towards Farrington, who's battling there with Fatak, and it runs through for Austin to recover it at the halfway line.
Fatak's a tough character back there.
Wide on the far side. Jaden Nelson just off the front line receives it. Onto his right foot. Rolls it through the middle of the Dallas half to Djordjevic on the near side. And to Irvin Torres in the middle. Again, they recycle possession through the center circle. Sabovic rolls it into the middle. Irvin Torres on the turn, has it now, middle of the Dallas half. Trying to spread it out to this near side. Under hits it. Kamungo comes away with it. And now he sprints past one defender. And now he sprints all alone in behind on this near side. And he's wrestled from behind by Izuni, who will pick up a very obvious yellow card, giving away the free kick for Dallas right on the edge of the attacking third.
But the real value here is that Dallas is going to be able to stand over this free kick and just eat away at the seconds here.
Kamungo looks like he may have picked up an injury here. He's covering his face, his jersey, slow to get up. Because there was a yellow card, he wouldn't have to wait off the field if he did get any attention from the training staff. He's now helped to his feet by Kappas as we're heading into the last of the 10 minutes. I'm sure we may play into 11 or so. Dallas take it short, moving towards the corner flag on the near side. Benjamin up against Facu Torres, knocks it out off an Austin player, and they'll have a throw in.
I don't know about you, but I feel like Dallas could have stood over that free kick a little while longer and then played it short.
And the two 20-year-olds maybe missing out on the experience of Ramiro.
Plaheta just gave Dallas a gift.
Just poked it out for a corner.
Stuck his leg out, yeah.
Final seconds here of a hard-fought Copa Tejas clash deep in the heart of Texas. Dallas holding it in the corner. The referee was off the field there as he watched a wrestling match take place.
And credit to Sean for taking up a good position there.
And now Austin bring it forward. Maybe one last roll of the dice here for the host tonight. Possession at the halfway line. Sabovic recycles it back into the defensive half. Now Svatak's just going to launch it up Route 1, and it's going to bounce through for Sirois.
And we're through the 10.
Dallas players waving towards the referee. Only he knows how much longer we'll play now. Sirois' punt. That's straight out of play over the head of Benjamin on the near side. Final seconds. Irvin Torres in possession in the center circle, moves it over to the Austin left. Over 100 minutes played. Kolmanich up towards the front line. Vasquez, heavy first touch. Benjamin hammers it clear. Again, all eyes on the referee. As Austin recovers possession, brings it into the attacking half on their left side. Launched forward by Kolmanich. That one hangs up in the air, and Sirois makes the catch. 11 minutes into the 10 added on. That will do it. Dallas takes down Austin in the state capitol tonight. Abubakar, first half stoppage time. Musa for the pride of Texas in the second half, off the post and in. And it's all 3 points in return to MLS play tonight for Eric Quill and co.
Well, it always feels a little bit better when it's not just 3 points on the road, but 3 points against your Texas rival.
We'll break it all down in the post-game show here, but we thank you so much for sticking with us late into this Sunday night soccer matchup, as the fans up in the corner of Q2 Stadium will be the ones celebrating on the bus home tonight. Dallas takes this one 2-1 at Q2 Stadium. For myself, Ryan Figert, and Steve Davis alongside me, thank you for sticking with us here on the FC Dallas Radio Network. Stick around for post-game coverage as FC Dallas wins here on the FC Dallas Radio Network.
Hey campers, it's Jan from Toyota. This summer, we're headed to Camp Toyota, and the fun starts now. We're kicking things off by kicking up mud. Jump in, campers. We're going off-roading in a 4Runner. Next, we're heading to the hot springs in a RAV4. And finally, park your Tundras and Tacomas around the campfire because we're roasting marshmallows. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, where discoveries change lives. The spark of collaboration that fuels bold thinking in our labs. The spark of inspiration that motivates greatness in the next generation. And the spark of innovation that pushes the boundaries of today's care. At UT Southwestern, teamwork and talent combine to fuel discovery, education, and healing. UT Southwestern, the future of medicine sparks here.
This is Logan Farrington, striker for FC Dallas. Behind every goal, there's a team you don't always see. The ones keeping everything running, secure, connected, ready. That's General Informatics. From cybersecurity to smarter IT solutions, General Informatics powers FC Dallas with advanced technology support so we can stay focused on the game. General Informatics. Complex IT made simple.
After over 100 minutes at Q2 Stadium, Austin will not be green, black, or purple. It will be red, white, and blue as FC Dallas wins tonight for the first time in Austin since 2023, 2-1 here at Q2 Stadium. Hello, it is the FC Dallas postgame show brought to you tonight by your local Toyota dealer, Toyota. Let's go places. Also brought to you by UMB Bank. See how UMB can help you achieve your business goals. I am your host, Sam Hale. I'll be joined in just a moment by the voices of tonight's victory, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis. But let's start first with your postgame highlights. And that first highlight comes almost at the death of the first half. Dallas and Austin were scoreless in the 45th plus second minute before King Lawless started the scoring.
Corner comes here from the near side as we're 1 minute into 3 added on. Both Valiente and Moreno stand over it. It's left here for Moreno. Scoop towards the back post. Abubakar scores! Right on the stroke of halftime. A dagger from Lawless in his return to the 11 tonight.
Abubakar's first of 2026 made it 1-0 Dallas at the break. But then 12 minutes after halftime ended, it was Irvin Torres who launched up a scorcher past Jonathan Sirois. That made it 1-1 for Austin and Dallas at the 57th minute. But then who else would take the lead for Dallas in the 73rd minute but the Moose?
Going to take it into Farrington. First touch finds Musa. Set into the middle for Valiente. Driving forward into the attacking third, options either side. Valiente over to Musa inside the area onto his left foot. Petter Musa off the post and in! And he sprints to go celebrate with the Dallas fans in the corner. Petter Musa punishing in a Copa Tejas matchup, as he always does.
14th MLS goal of the season for Musa, 15th overall. That made it 2-1, and Dallas was able to ride out 10-plus minutes of second-half stoppage time to grab 3 points here in the capital of Texas. Now let's get you your post-game stats. Those are brought to you by UMB Bank. Austin does end up winning the possession battle 64-36. 14 shots for Dallas, 6 of those on target. 9 shots for the home side Verde, only 3 of those on net. You had 7 corners for Austin, 4 for FCD. 2 saves tonight for Jonathan Sirois, 4 for Brad Stuver. 17 fouls for Dallas, 4 yellow cards. 12 fouls for Austin, 3 yellow cards there. I'm not going to bother reading off the disciplinary report because we will be here all night. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to celebrate a 2-1 win in the Copa Tejas rivalry and a big 3 points for Dallas in Major League Soccer. And speaking of, let's bring in the gentlemen that called it tonight, Ryan Figert and Steve Davis. And Ryan, we'll start here with you. This is not going to be the prettiest win. It's not going to be the one that maybe everyone remembers how they got there. But when the season comes, they're going to see Dallas 2, Austin 1 in Austin, and it's all going to be good.
This was one of the gutsiest wins that we've seen any version of FC Dallas put up. Just everything, to the contrary against them tonight, and even deep into 100 minutes, digging deep, showing the fight, showing the grit and the resilience, coming off of playing on Wednesday in elevation against Toluca, bouncing back, and really Eric Quill riding a lot of the same guys again, and they dug deep tonight. They dug as deep as I've ever seen an FC Dallas team dig, and they came out with all 3 points. Huge credit to the quality from Petar Musa, because it looked like even from the opening minutes he didn't have much to give tonight in terms of the energy levels, but that's why you have him on the field as long as you possibly can for that level of quality in the final third. He's the best striker in Major League Soccer. He's the Golden Boot leader, and tonight his goal was the difference between these two sides. His goal and a whole lot of heart from the squad.
Steve, I seem to remember somebody in pregame saying that it might be Petar Musa needing to do something spectacular to carry Dallas over the line. I don't remember who that was. He was probably really handsome and awesome, but it is good to see, Musa, who, as Ryan said, he looked knackered out there. They've played a lot of soccer. And I think even we were probably all wondering, if not outright saying on the broadcast y'all did, hey, it might be time for him to come off just because he looks exhausted. But then it's that one flashpoint moment. That's the difference between a great player and a superstar, and we saw why Petar Musa is a superstar tonight.
We sure did, man. You're right. I really thought, I'll raise my hand, I thought maybe Eric Quill needed to get some fresh bodies on the field a little sooner than he did. Surprise, surprise, Eric Quill knows a little bit more about coaching soccer than I do. He stuck with the starters for a while, and we'll see if that sort of is a strategic, higher strategic thinking there going into Wednesday's night's match against RSL. But to your point there, you leave Petar Musa on the field, even though I just said that I think he's about 80 or 85% tonight, but you get that moment. I will also tell you, though, a lot of really good performances out there. Ryan said it best. I thought Herman Johansson was quietly effective. I thought Marino was very effective in the first half, slowed down a little bit in the second half. Bernard Kamungo certainly had his moments, put in a lot of work out there. Ibiaga coming in with the start, I thought he was really good. Abubakar, obviously, with the big goal. And I'll tell you something else on the goal, guys, if we want to talk about this. After the goal, I mentioned that Valiente waited and was waiting to make the right pass. But as I looked at it again, he wasn't really waiting. What he was doing, waiting, of course, and wanting to pick out the right pass, but he was moving, sort of drifting right to left, right to left, right to left. And I think he knew all along that he wanted to go back to Petar Musa on the other side. And as you watch it, he draws 3 defenders over as he's drifting over toward the left, and that gave Musa a little bit more time to set up that shot.
Yeah, what a great goal. Probably the most memorable goal of the season so far for FC Dallas, right up there with Farrington against Chivas. But when you win at Austin, it certainly has a little bit more weight. And, Musa, a great scorer of goals, not always a scorer of great goals. He's about his positioning. He dominates inside the penalty area, clinical finisher. Doesn't often hit a banger from the top of the box, off the post, off his weaker foot. And that's just a huge moment to savor for him as he's chasing all the FC Dallas records, chasing the Golden Boot. Ultimately, his goal was worth 3 points tonight.
Boy, don't let Sam Sarver hear you do that. There's no telling what kind of celebration he'll break out to try to reclaim that title. Or maybe we should play it for him on loop. I'm not sure. One of those two reactions. But, yes, Steve Davis.
Well, Sam, speaking of celebrations, I think this is worth mentioning. First of all, I noted muted celebrations after the – it wasn't that the win wasn't big and emotional.
They didn't have anything.
They're
just tired.
But you know where they found a little bit more? And it was Kappas that sort of led the charge, and everybody made their way over to the corner to help, to give the fans over there who had come down from Dallas on the buses, a big round of applause. I think there are some that maybe were here from Austin as well. A big round of applause. They're really nice to see everybody going over there and celebrating with the fans.
That's one of the 2 opportunities we really get to see a big traveling road contingent, and just not so common in such a geographically spread out league. But it's always more fun to have that little back and forth between the fans, and
absolutely
to have the away fans up in the corner tonight. I'm sure that was a sense of inspiration for the team into the 101st minute digging deep tonight.
And I think something Steve brought up is incredibly important, because often on the postgame show we'll talk about some of those individual performances, guys that individually show out. Well, tonight, Ryan, there's a lot of guys that would deserve that credit, but I think that speaks to something that this FC Dallas squad is really doing a lot better this year. I would even argue than they did last year and maybe have done in years past. This was a complete team win. There was no one guy dragging everyone along or a couple guys drag. This was everyone at the pump, at the handle, whatever you want to describe. And I think that's something that as we go on through the season and hopefully make the playoffs, I think that's something that's going to be incredibly important.
Yeah, clearly a very bought-in team, and you've got great characters in the squad like Alalis Abubakar, who has now started 2 games. He doubled his minutes on the season tonight, and he looked right at home. He looked, confident. He scores the goal, and clearly he's been keeping himself ready and fit and ready for when this moment arose, and they really needed his contribution tonight. And then getting guys in later in the game, just allowing them to just empty the tank and run as much as they can to try and make up those legs as the rest of the team tired. I think it was a real squad win tonight, even going in past the sort of usual 13 or 14-man rotation.
Yeah, I'd also say in sort of reinforcing that point, Sam, there's nobody on the field tonight I would look at and say, well, he sort of had an off night. I know, Valiente had a moment where he took a yellow card he probably didn't need to take. Bernie had a little bit of difficulty dealing with Poeta as he came in. But overall, I thought everybody was really solid tonight. And if you get a win on the road against a rival, that's really what it takes. And when you talk about solid contributions, you expect it from Musa. You expect it from Uragide, and you got it. Increasingly, I expect it from Sirwa, who was solid again tonight. But, Ibiaga's coming in. He's a little bit older. He hasn't played a lot, although it makes it fresh. Boubacar coming in. Those guys, you don't know, and they got really solid performances from everybody, I thought, tonight.
Once Dallas had the lead, and we saw this against Chivas a lot as well, just that back three, the solidity, and Sirwa and the confidence coming out off his line, making punches, making catches. I think Dallas is the best team in Major League Soccer defending their box from crosses, and they absolutely made their money on that tonight. I think statistically that's backed up as well. They've given up the least goals off of open play crosses in MLS this season, and they certainly didn't give up one tonight because everybody was up for it, throwing their body on the line, putting their head in there where it hurts. Ibiaga taking a free kick right to the face towards the end of the game. I mean, this was a sacrificial performance from that back line, and it's something that they've continued to stack performance on top of performance to prove that in the air they're not going to be beat.
I do want to stay on Sirwa for just a moment because I think, we talk about players developing and growing on this squad, and we've talked about it a lot with guys like Nolan Norris in specific. He has been a guy we've seen clearly evolve since Eric Quill has arrived, and specifically here in 2026. But I think we're seeing in a very short time a guy like Jonathan Sirwa really kind of grow comfortable in his role, grow comfortable in front of the guys that he's playing with, and as a result, that's elevating his play at a time when Dallas desperately needed it, considering their big acquisition in goal is now going to be hurt for at least a couple months, it seems like, or at least many weeks. Like it's encouraging to see that it's not just young guys, it's guys who have a lot of proven MLS experience can also grow into roles and show out.
Yeah, and I think it's so funny because it's going to be such an interesting goalkeeping situation when Daniel's back, and it's been this battle with Sirwa and Kalodi all season long. But ultimately, this is what they wanted to create. They wanted to create the conditions of competition in the goalkeeper room. I don't think Eric Quill cares who his starting goalkeeper is, but he wants them to be pushed every day in training, and that's what they've created with this group of 3 guys that have starting experience in MLS, and that's brought the best out of Sirwa. Him playing behind this back line where he doesn't have to take as many risks, I think really suits his game well. But even saying that, tonight coming out off his line in the first half in particular, when Dallas set a really high line, he was perfect in those situations, reading the play, had the foot speed when he needed it, even up against some quick players making those runs behind for Austin. He read those situations really well. He just continues to grow week on week, and unfortunately no donuts for him this time out, but it'll taste just as good.
I will say I'm looking at the condition of the in front of goal here that Sirwa was
because
in.
That would be the one thing we would talk about, but yeah, it looks like a mud pit.
It looks like there's been a professional football game played just in the 6-yard box for about an hour. And like I said, I don't know what his footwear situation was as we see Peter Musa in the cowboy hat. Thanks to Ryan Figert, who actually brought the cowboy hat with him to Austin.
In Steve's car, to be clear. Thank you, Steve, for driving.
Yeah, everyone gets credit. We all I was there for emotional support, so I get credit. We'll just all take credit. It's a good day for FC Dallas, but it's great to see guys and just really performing well. And Steve, I know this is going to be very simplistic, but I think the vibes are just really good around this thing right now. When you factor in how they finished before the World Cup, coming back into Leagues Cup, and now you get a big win on short rest against your rival in their place. Like I know that's kind of hard to measure the vibe factor, but they're really, really good.
And I would say, not before I turn it over to you, I think this one was so important for all those things you just laid out because you needed to capitalize on the momentum you developed over Leagues Cup. And I think a team that has a weaker mentality throws some of that momentum away because they say, oh, we lost in Toluca, we didn't advance, it was frustrating, we didn't have much of the play in that game. But instead they were able to take the good elements from the 2 previous games, bring it back into league play tonight, and that gives them a really good platform to go forward.
For sure. I made the point that there was a lot to feel good about with the Leagues Cup, and I know it didn't end the way they wanted it to, but that is a cauldron down there in Toluca. So to walk out of Leagues Cup 2-1 against Liga MX's opposition, including one game that was out in San Jose where it was really a road game for FC Dallas. I mean, that's really something to feel good about. And, since coming back off the break now, it's 4 positive results out of 7 matches. So the vibe should be good. There's no reason why they shouldn't be. And this thing tonight is going to just stack it right on top of that. So we'll see what happens Wednesday when I sort of suspect now, having watched how Eric Quill managed the minutes tonight, that we might see a big rotation Wednesday. But then again, who knows? But whoever it is, the vibes are going to be good for that one because they may roll a different lineup out there, and they're going to feel like they have a good chance.
And one of the biggest things that they brought with them from that Leagues Cup performance was the form of Santi Moreno and Joaquin Valiente in there alongside him behind the striker tonight. But this was Santi Moreno's most influential game so far. A lot of that took place in the first half where he created 5 chances. He created 1 more in the second half before he came off in the 70th minute. 2 big chances created, gets the assist on the corner kick goal as well. He was, as advertised tonight, that sprinkle of quality, the ability to beat the first man, split 2 defenders on the dribble, and honestly, his weight of pass tonight was what really impressed me. We know he's usually a pass-first guy, but he showed that final third quality, pulling the strings from just behind Petar Musa in the formation. And Valiente, we know he does it in a different way with a lot of good running and industry, and really he holds the team structured together in that front line with all the work that he does, but he has the quality as well, and it's now the team leader in assists with 6 on the year. So those 2 found something during Leagues Cup, and hey, we can't expect him to walk right into a new team, a new league in the case of Valiente, and immediately be at their best self from day one. They got that time in the first part of the season. They got the World Cup break. Now we're seeing the best of them as they've settled in, and they provided that perfect tandem behind the striker tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Sam opened up the broadcast tonight on our segment asking, is this the best front 3? And, I think it is. I think there's still a place for Logan Farrington, but as we go on now, it looks like this is the first choice 11 with Logan Farrington coming in as he did to provide minutes either on one of the outside positions or at striker if Petar Musa needs a little bit more of a rest. So, Sam, I think you're right. You've been you're on a roll lately. I think this is the best front 3, and if Santi Moreno is going to bring it like he did tonight, and we know that he still struggles a little bit for whatever reason, going a little bit further than 60, maybe 70 minutes, but he just completely opened up the Austin defense a couple of times on balls into Bernie Kamungo, and then the really good set-piece delivery on the Abubakar goal. So he's filling up the box score. He's got 7 passes into the final third. He was 28 of 30 on his passing, and like Ryan said, he's just really good at turning and going and getting past that first guy with the burst, and then understanding, well, I've beat the guy. I don't really need to hold the ball anymore. Now I can connect from here, which some guys don't always understand, Sometimes I think he's good at reading if there's space there. He attacks it, but sometimes he turns and beats the first guy, and then he looks to connect, which is what you want him to do.
Yeah, and I want to take a moment, too, because I'm looking at some of the guys that went 90 minutes tonight.
Yep.
Herman Johansson, Bernie Kamungo, Osaze Uragide, I mean, these guys that have played 90, 90, 90 through Leagues Cup, and they continue to start and continue to give you solid contributions late into the game. Kamungo was flying up and down the sideline even into second half stoppage time. He had some good moments and he had some bad moments. It was a Bernie Kamungo performance in that way, but his speed and his outlet on the left side gives them a ton in transition as well. I thought he was excellent tonight. And also a credit to the performance staff for the team, because this has been a grueling stretch as we've hammered home, and they've managed to get these guys ready to go again and again and again. And so credit to the guys obviously keeping themselves in great shape, but also to the team behind the scenes making that happen.
Just another quick word on Bernie Kamungo. The thing is, yes, a couple of his crosses tonight, I don't think he hit very many, but or two I'm thinking about, that weren't good crosses. He got in behind the defense, and we would have liked to have seen him score in that early ball that Marino fed him. He didn't score in that one. But the thing is, when you're a guy like Bernie Kamungo, I think it's okay if you don't end up on the score sheet as long as you are a threat. As long as you're a threat that they have to deal with. And tonight, Bernie Kamungo was absolutely a threat over there that they had to deal with and had trouble dealing with early in the match. So it's okay if you don't hit every cross. Just be a threat, and Bernie Kamungo certainly was tonight.
And 8 of 13 on the duels as well. He had that sort of spell right out of halftime where he struggled to adjust to the changes that Austin had made, but also completed a game-high 4 dribbles out of 5 attempted. They couldn't really deal with his speed once he got up through the gears, and he was splitting double teams, and even late into the game making that big run, eventually being brought down by Ozuni. That killed off maybe 2 minutes of stoppage time. He absolutely emptied the tank tonight, and I think it's easy to forget too with Kamungo how little top-level soccer experience he has. Even at age 24, you're thinking, okay, maybe he's getting into his early prime. He's still learning, and he's learning a new position as well for a second straight year. So I think there's still so much more growth potential for Bernard Kamungo, even if the day-to-day performances are already at a pretty solid level as the starting left wing back.
And I want to close the loop on something you said, Ryan, because I think it's incredibly important. Not just, the performance staff, I think, does deserve a lot of credit, because recall back a couple of years ago, I would say probably before Eric Quill arrived and even shortly after, like there was always seemed like there was a couple of guys that were just perpetually injured, that they would have just soft tissue, whether it be a hamstring or a groin or what have you.
We got to knock on some wood here.
Yeah, knock on wood. I'm just.
Well, funnily enough, the last defeat for Dallas here at Q2 Stadium was, if you remember that game in 2023, when they just put out just the craziest lineup.
Yeah, we were sitting right here.
Everybody was injured.
Yes,
that's what makes me. That's what
me, Steve, and Owen Newkirk were sitting in this booth talking about it.
The solidity and the consistency of availability for a lot of these guys now. It's definitely a stark contrast to that.
But
but knock on all the wood.
Yeah. Well, if you're listening at home and you can find some wood, knock on it, please. But I also think it gives a credit slightly to the front office staff, because it's clear, I think, that they've slightly shifted their priorities when it comes to the kind of player that they're bringing in. And probably that is because of what Quill demands of his players, what he wants, an ideal performance. But to go out and get guys that, it's no fault of the guy that he's injury prone. Your body just works like that. It's not, it's just God-given, for lack of a better term. But Dallas identifying the problem and solving the problem, at least, right now, I think the performance staff and the front office deserve some credit for that.
Valiente is the perfect Eric Quill player, and he encapsulates all of those things. He just absolutely empties the tank game to game to game, not even week to week, because we're playing 2 games a week right now. For him to go 85 minutes in this game and to have such an influence in it, even late into that, he is emblematic of that. I think his consistency and his engine is really remarkable.
96 degrees at kickoff.
Yeah.
2 hydration breaks necessary because it was still hot at like 9 o'clock when we crossed.
I think they'll be happy to go up a little ways in elevation into some cooler weather with Salt Lake on Wednesday.
I would think so. Before we preview that a little bit.
After 8,000 feet, what is Salt Lake?
Yeah,
much lower than that.
4,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's half. It's half as easy. It's or 2 times as easy, depending on how you look at it. Before we look ahead to the game that will be, do we have any final thoughts on FC Dallas 2, Austin FC 1?
Yeah, it's a game won by Petar Musa, but it's a game won by the culture created within this team. It's a gutsy win. It's a crucial win for things like Copa Tejas standings, with Dallas is now 2 wins from 2 after beating Houston earlier in the season. We'll see Austin again later on, and the way things have been going, that's another 3 points we can count on.
Yeah, Sam, what I would say is during this stretch of August, this 7 and 23 games?
Something like that.
What it was important Dallas just sort of hold serve You know, they didn't have to make a big move in the standings, but just hold their place in there. Well, they're doing that right now. And then the road thing just continues to be an amazing story under Eric Quill. 5-3-2 now, 5 wins, 3 losses, two draws on the road, a +7 goal difference on the road, 2-year record on the road under Eric Quill. Now 11 wins, 8 losses, 10 draws. That's really good stuff.
That's 17 points if I'm doing my math correctly, and that means Dallas is only 7 points away from beating last year's franchise record in road points at 23. So they need 2 wins and a draw to do that. And I know we played a lot of road games. We've got 2 more coming up soon. And then, by the way, another one after that. They could achieve that by the end of this month.
And speaking of records, quickly, we among everything else, I don't even mention Petromus. I don't think we mentioned Petromus creeping toward that team record for goals. He's got 14 now, and he's got a lot of games left to get 4 more to match the record one more time, and then maybe finally get past that 18-goal mark that nobody, Kenny Cooper, Jason Christ, Jesus Ferreira, and now Peter Moose has been able to get past.
Yeah, and Jesus is next up on the all-time scoring chart as well. If he keeps up this pace, he'll end the season second behind Christ, way behind Christ still, who has 91 and is way out clear in first place. But hey, if he sticks around for the rest of the prime of his career, that record may one day fall as well.
Yeah, 5 will break not just the MLS record, but the all-time Dallas record, which I believe Peter Musa shares with Jason Christ at 19 as well, thanks to his notch in Leagues Cup play. Well, the road doesn't end for Dallas. They will head home tonight on the bus or the plane. I don't remember how they got down here. They're here. They will be back home, but only for a couple days because they will head west to Salt Lake City to play Real Salt Lake. And RSL already played this week. They played on Saturday. They took Minnesota to a 1-1 draw at America First Field. So they will have an extra day of rest on Dallas, unfortunately. But based on this performance, I'm not sure what to think of, if that matters anymore, because the X-Dog on this club is just incredible. X-Dog through the roof, #1 in MLS, and there's not even close. But that's going to be an 8:30 kick from America First Field. So we will have pregame on the FC Dallas Radio Network. That's the Burncast on YouTube. And the FC Dallas app at 8 o'clock. I will lead that. And then Ryan and Steve will get you kickoff between RSL and FCD at 8:30. But that's going to do it for the FC Dallas postgame show. FC Dallas wins at Austin 2-1 for the first time since 2013. You've been listening to the FC Dallas Radio Network presented by Toyota.
Broadcast has been a presentation of the FC Dallas Radio Network.
You push your body hard in the name of fitness. Sure, it's for a good cause. But a good cause shouldn't mean sacrificing a good time. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Want to hear something incredible?
The treatments are over, the infusions are done. Now you can get back to all the kid fun. We'll miss you lots, but you'll be happy to know chemo is over, so it's time to go.
At Children's Health, we're making groundbreaking advancements in cancer treatments every day